This is ESPN3 Primetime. Champions in the East, Bowling Green at 8-3, taking on Ball State at 3-8. Greetings and welcome to Muncie, Indiana. Jim Barber and the College Football Hall of Famer Mark Herman. Bowling Green averages 43.8 points a game, fourth best in the country. And the question tonight is, can Ball State, Mark, hang around at any point?
Well, they're going to have to be very efficient offensively. They've got to convert third downs. They've got to shorten this game a little bit because anytime Bowling Green has a chance on offense, chances are they're going to score points.
The Falcons have a three-headed monster, starting with a quarterback, Matt Johnson, who can really spin it.
Well, he's as gifted a passer as there is in college football. You see the touch on the fade route. He's also very elusive, creates space, and then can deliver the football on the move accurately into the end zone for scores. So, and he's blessed with a variety of weapons. Roger Lewis, who is a deep ball threat, leading the FBS in receiving yards, and then, of course, Travis Green, the running back behind him, is the all-time rusher in Bowling Green history, so you know he can get to that second level and create some damage.
You wonder if Riley Neal, true freshman for Ball State, having a terrific year as quarterback, can move the football and keep that offense off the field.
Yeah, I love how Riley Neal has progressed this year. Just a freshman, just 3 interceptions. He's improving every week. He's seeing things better. He's relaying blitzes, and he's getting the ball to the open guy. So he's going to have a big night tonight.
Kind of like a young Mark Herman when he started Purdue, don't you think?
Yeah.
We'll come back and meet the impact players for tonight's showdown in the Mid-American Conference. When they played last year in the snow, Bowling Green was a heavy favorite. Ball State won the game going away by 3 touchdowns. Dino Babers, Bowling Green coach, says, don't talk revenge. Haven't even mentioned it, but we will talk about it because it's certainly on the minds of the Falcons. Let's speak to impact players. Let's talk about Garrick Dieter. Off a 3-touchdown game, the only bright spot of the offense, and a loss to the Rockets.
Yeah, he was brilliant last week, a career high, and he just seemed to have that ability to get open, and he made a couple of beautiful one-handed catches for touchdowns, and he really found a comfort zone with Matt Johnson. And of course, Zach Colvin on the defensive side is a beast in his own right.
Yeah, Colvin's kind of the old man of this team when you think about it, and he is in his senior year playing in his last go-around, actually. Kyle Schmidt will kick off. This one is headed out of bounds. It'll be a penalty to start the game on Ball State. Bowling Green will begin at its own 35. By the way, the Falcons won the toss, elected to go on offense, and to pen your words, you were shocked.
Yeah. They're only averaging 43 points a game. Why would they want the ball to
Free
start
kick out
the
of
game?
bounds. Number 12 of the kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down, Bowling Green.
That's a referee, Ron Hudson. By the way, that's sarcasm from Mark. You can probably pick that out.
Just a little.
Second-year head coach Dino Babers. He's got things rolling right now. Overall, his record is 35-16. A lot of speculation. Will this be his last year with the Falcons?
Yeah, and he didn't want to hear that kind of talk. He's very focused on this particular Bowling Green team. He loves their energy. He loves that they come to work every day. And by the way, they're pretty talented as well.
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, they'll lose Matt Johnson this year, but James Kanapke, who played his high school football just down the road at Fort Wayne, is waiting in the wings after delivering 3,100-plus yards last year as the starter. On the first play from scrimmage, they go sideline. And they pick up 8. Garrick Dieter, who was a very popular receiver in the loss to Toledo, is already very active as they line him up on the far side. This has not been a great year for Pete Lembo, and he says we're going to take a look at everything, including our redshirting.
Yes, they've got to reevaluate this whole program. A couple of less than stellar seasons, and that's very Ball State-like here.
Across the middle, intended for Dieter, and it sets him up with a 3rd and 2. This is a Falcon offense. It likes to go Falcon fast. They compare it to a Ferrari.
Yes, they can't go fast enough for Dino Baber's liking, and they relay the signals in. They've got numbers. They do it any way they can to get up at that line of scrimmage and get ready to go.
So 3rd and 2, football at the 43 of Bowling Green. On the zone read, Travis Green gets swallowed up for a loss, and the Falcons are going to have to give up the football on a 3 and out. Boy, that's a rarity.
Boy, great play by Sean Wiggins, the inside middle backer, and 3rd downs have been really difficult for Ball State. They've just been unable to get people off the field, and that's the type of play that can set the tone for your defense.
So Joseph Davidson, who punted twice in the first 6 minutes in that game with the Rockets last week, is already on the field within the first 45 seconds. That's quite a victory for Ball State, I would think, to start the game.
No question. Anytime you can get a 3 and out, that's a big plus. And now you get the football back and you kind of get off to a fast start, which they've not been able to do this year.
Headed to Lacanaria and over his head. That is a terrific punt. We'll see how they spot it to be at the 5-yard line. You mentioned revenge. This is a game in the snow that Bowling Green looked like it would run away with, because on the first play from scrimmage, that's exactly what Travis Green did.
Yeah, you see the explosiveness, the vision, and the ability to take it to the distance. But Ball State settled down and got things going, and then ultimately took control of that football game.
It was Jack Miles to Jordan Williams, and then Jawan Edwards. You remember him, don't you?
Yeah, not a bad player, leading all time in touchdowns and yardage. He was a pretty big void to fill, but just a terrific victory for the Ball State program.
You see Riley's numbers among true freshmen. We'll revisit that in a moment. And the first play from scrimmage for Ball State, a loss on the play of a couple of yards for running back Darian Green. That's pretty good company, starting with Josh Rosen from UCLA.
Boy, there's a lot of good play at the freshman quarterback position, and Riley Neal's up there with the best of them, and he has really been tremendously effective this year. And I think Joey Lynch, the offensive coordinator, is so pleased with Riley's progression and his ability to make things happen, but he's got to be consistent tonight and do the job from that position.
If you notice, Ball State's using clock here. Joey Lynch, the offensive coordinator, said earlier in the week, we want to shorten the game. Go fast at times, but other times we will bleed time. Back-to-back running plays will put them in a 3rd and long, and that is not a position that the Cardinals want to be in, because that's been, unfortunately, an uncomfortable spot for them from time to time.
Yeah, it's been critical for them to stay ahead of schedule and not put Riley Neal in predictable blitz-type situations, and that's when he has struggled to convert. So you'd love to be in that 3rd and 4 and 5 range, but now you get the exotic defenses from Bowling Green, and that can be confusing at times for an offense.
And again, pay attention to the play clock. You can see that with the red box there. Ball State wants to get that under 10 seconds, which keeps that Bowling Green high-powered offense off the field. Need to pick up 9 on 3rd down from the end zone. He's in trouble. Pass caught. 19-yard line. First down to Kevon Maybon on a terrific catch on 3rd and long. Picks up 13.
Boy, that is a great conversion. First of all, great poise by Riley Neal. He held that football till the last minute. This was almost a safety. Neal, you see the arm strength and able to get the touch over the underneath corner, and Maybon with the catch. And Maybon was just brilliant last week with over 300 yards of all-purpose yardage.
Yeah, as the story goes, Kevon and the coach had a talk during the course of the game, and the coach did most of the talking. Off the zone read, that doesn't gain much, maybe a yard past the original line of scrimmage. That's Darian Green, one of the 3 running backs we'll likely see tonight for Ball State. He's a sophomore from Jeff High School in Lafayette.
Yeah, and this is a very experienced defensive front and a lot of playmakers. We mentioned Zach Colvin in the opening, but Taylor Royster at that defensive end spot is a playmaker as well as Terrence Bush on the outside. So good 4-man front, and so far Ball State has not had great success running the football.
Bowling Green very good about getting pressure with 4. This time chasing, quarterback out of the pocket, firing on the run. And it's incomplete. It'll bring up another 3rd and long, 3rd and 9. Let's talk about the fact that Ball State is using as much time as it can when the game clock is moving. If you're an offense used to going fast, like Ball State is, How challenging is that to adjust?
Well, they've had times where they've tried to slow the tempo, when it suits them, and certainly tonight it suits them because Bowling Green is so dangerous on the other side of the ball. But I think you can't sacrifice that for getting out of a rhythm, and I think Joey Lynch will realize that as this game goes on. But you've got to be able to put Riley Neal in a good situation.
Straight drop back to the sidelines. Lacanaria first down, and so twice now on 3rd and long. Ball State able to convert. That's a pickup at 12.
It's a good hard-nosed run by Lacanaria. Catches the ball at about 5 or 6 yards to go, and we've seen his toughness before. He lowers the shoulder and is very cognizant of where that first down marker is. So that's another very fine 3rd down conversion here for Ball State.
Yeah, for Corey, the sophomore from Farmington Hills, Michigan, his 43rd reception of the year. Now watch Ball State again with its offense. And as the play clock starts again, we'll try to utilize time as much as possible. Again, the plan is not a surprise. Keep the Falcon offense from being on the field as much as possible.
Well, they want to be assignment sound. You don't want to get in a hurry and then put yourself in a difficult bind.
Green on first down into that second line of defense. It's a pickup of 14 yards. First down, Ball State, and its 3rd mark on this drive.
Yes, beautiful execution that time. And Darian Green is a very exciting young back, and you see his ability, and I'm sure he wants to match what Travis Green is doing on the other side. So that's a little bit of a challenge here for the young running back.
Pretty interesting strategy from Ball State tonight to try to shorten the game. You saw Denard Turner make the tackle on the play, but now it is 1st and 10 from the Ball State 48. Fake the jet sweep, quarterback to throw to Lacanaria. Trying to cut upfield across the 50 and into Bowling Green territory. A pickup of 3, 2nd and 7. And I would think more importantly, since 5 minutes are already off the clock in the first quarter, the more important factor here is to keep that clock going.
Absolutely, and that's a high percentage. You can see they're moving the launch points for Riley Neal. Little play action. He's moving right, he's moving left, and that just gets that rush a little bit on their heels. And as long as guys are open, Riley Neal's got to get him the football, and that's a positive gain on first down.
Lacanaria and Maybon to the far side, near side Jordan Williams in a 3-receiver set. And it's a one-hop to Jordan Williams, incomplete. Speaking of Williams, number 8, yesterday Pete Lumbo was saying at practice, maybe I didn't get the most out of Jordan Williams this year. And Jordan's a very likable kid, and he would like to have some opportunities to play in the NFL. But I think Lembo in some ways blames himself for Williams not reaching what he thought would have been his potential.
Well, it's always been about consistency with Jordan. I mean, he'll have glimpses of just pure brilliance, and then he'll drop some balls, and it gets to be a mental thing. I mean, he's a 1,000-yard receiver, no question. And but he's been a little short of those expectations.
Falcons came with a blitz, forcing Neal to throw, and it may have been picked off. Bowling Green picks it off. It's Turner with the interception. They've got great field position, and they came with a blitz, and the blitz marked very effective.
Yeah, not the best decision here by Riley Neal as he gets outside the pocket and throws against the green. A fresh mistake on that play.
Good pressure by Austin Valdez. After the interception by Bowling Green's Denard Turner, his 4th of the year, Falcons have the football in the Ball State territory. 2nd possession in a scoreless game from the 49-yard line. This is a team last year, Mark, that with its 2-star running backs, Green and Coppett, ran for nearly 300 yards and 2 touchdowns and yet lost by 3 scores to Ball State.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Because usually if you dominate run game-wise, you're in control of that game and you're controlling the line of scrimmage. But Ball State just, found a way to make plays, and they withstood a late run and held on for that victory.
Johnson's being chased out of the pocket. He'll just have to throw it away in the general vicinity, but not catchable for Roger Lewis. So now it is 3rd and 10, and one of the few times this year Ball State is getting pressure on the quarterback.
Boy, Kevin Kelly's got to be very pleased. They've struggled getting sacks and getting pressure, and they've also struggled in the run game, and so far both of those areas look very strong. So Bowling Green out of a little bit of a rhythm right now.
Cardinals in all black tonight. Black jerseys, pants, and helmets. set their defense on 3rd and 10. Johnson looks to his left. They set up a little bubble screen that's going to go for a first down. Moore still with a catch and running to the 20, to the 15, and out of bounds. Ronnie Moore, they set up on a screen, and Moore dances from the 49 all the way down to the 14, and a pick of a 35 for the Falcons.
Well, Ronnie Moore, probably the least heralded of this very talented group, but just a simple little slip screen, and you can see what he can do after the catch, and that's just very good execution on a nice play there by Bowling Green.
David Moore made the tackle. Now a quick out to the sidelines to Garrick Dieter, their fine possession receiver, and that picks up 5 on first down, maybe close to 6.
You know, they've got 3 receivers that are over 2,000 in career yardage, and Dieter is over 1,000, so this is a extremely talented group here.
Straight ahead to Travis Green, close to the first down marker. It'll be 3rd and short.
The coach has just raved about Travis Green. He's a gym rat. He studies film. He has great vision, and he's really strong. He's not the biggest guy, but he can really get into that next level.
He's able to lunge ahead, and let's see if it's enough. He was stopped. Mark at the 5-yard line. And he does have enough for the first down, so it'll be 1st and goal for the Falcons inside the 5, 7 minutes into the first quarter. He is, to follow your point, considered to be a football savant with his team. And what coach wouldn't like a guy like that?
Yep, you love that guy, and he's a great leader, and you know, he just provides that burst from the tailback position.
Falcons with a jumbo package here on 1st and goal for the 4. Trying to get into the scoring column for the first time. Johnson, little fade route to Dieter. Has he got it? No, broken up last minute. Good defensive play by Darius Conaway, who's getting a start tonight in place of the freshman Mark Walton.
That's good timing. Conaway just kind of reading the eyes of the receiver, and at the last second strips that football away. Dieter last week, as you saw, was able to catch a couple of fade routes for scores, but Conaway played it extremely well from the cornerback position.
Ball State, how do you defend it here when we're still 4 yards away from Bowling Green cracking the scoring?
Well, it's all about winning the one-on-one matchups, and that's what Conaway did, and that's what we talked about to Kevin Kelly, the defensive coordinator, and he said those guys have not been doing that this year, and that's why they've struggled.
Travis Green stood up. Picked up a yard on the play, but it is still goal to go. And a good defensive play by the linebacking spot of Ben Engel, who's playing in his last game as a Cardinal.
Yeah, Ben Engel and Michael Ayers, both seniors on that front 7, and you could tell that they've been challenged all week, and they've really risen to the occasion here, and they've been very stout so far here early in this ball game.
If you're Bowling Green, what do you call on 3rd down?
Well, I think you put it into Matt Johnson's hands, and then you may see a little rub route, but this looks like it could be inside zone coverage here.
You also see the tight end Derek Lee. It's over the middle, man, wide open, touchdown. Hunter Folkertsma with a catch. They had a 2 tight end set, and he was able to burst through to the goalpost for a score. It is 6-0 Bowling Green.
Well, this offense just has such a confidence about them. They just run their stuff. I mean, that's just a good play-action fake, and somebody lost coverage responsibilities because the tight end's all alone in the back of the end zone, and Matt Johnson able to spy it for the score.
Kanapke, backup quarterback, holds. Extra point kick is good by Tyler Tate. No good, excuse me. So it remains 6-0 after Tate. That is his 3rd miss of the year. Matt Johnson moments ago threw his 40th touchdown pass. And Bowling Green draws first blood. 9-play, 49-yard drive accomplished in 2:40 off the Denard Turner interception. And Bowling Green, despite the missed extra point, leading Ball State 6-0. Jim Barber with Mark Herman tonight from cold and chilly Muncie, Indiana.
Well, a short field score for Bowling Green after the turnover, and very unfortunate for Ball State because the last thing you want is to give Bowling Green that short field, less than 50 yards, and you can see the variability of this offense that they can hurt you in so many ways. Both linebackers went with the play action fake, and Folkersma in behind for the score.
Cardinals have the 15th best kickoff return team in the country due to a touchdown return by this man, Kevon Maybon. Inside the 5-yard line, straight ahead 25-30. Maybon down the sidelines and knocked out of bounds. They'll spot him at the 46-yard line. In the meantime, college football playoff rankings are out. Clemson number 1, Alabama second. How about the jump by Oklahoma marked to 3? Iowa's in for the time being, and Michigan State. Notre Dame down to 6th.
Yeah, Notre Dame slips, and boy, you can just see the fluidity of this every week. And you're right, Oklahoma makes a big jump, and they've been very impressive, even though there's been some injury situations with the quarterback, but they still bring up a big game in Stillwater against Oklahoma State coming up.
And for Jim Delaney, in the Week 13 rankings, 4 of his conference's teams in the Big Ten are in the top 10. Ball State with the possession. This is James Gilbert. He is the outstanding freshman who came on the scene in January, graduating early from Indianapolis Arsenal Tech. And when you talked to Pete Lumbo yesterday, cannot say enough good things about this rugged running back.
Oh, he's been so impressive. He's physical. He scored 8 touchdowns, and he and Darian Green have pretty much split the carries. It's all about going with the hot hand, but James Gilbert has really provided a glimpse of the future for this program. You look, you've got a freshman quarterback, a freshman running back, a sophomore running back, so there's a lot of stars in the backfield for the Cardinals.
That freshman quarterback, just 18 years old, straight drop back, pressure into the sidelines he goes. Pass caught by the tight end, Sam Bruner. The thing you like about this front 4 of Bowling Green, as you take a look at the tackle made on the sidelines, is the fact that they've got plenty of guys up front that can get pressure. Taylor Royster and Terrence Bush average about 6 sacks on the season, and Mike Benz and Zach Colvin. They do it with 4 people. That makes it tough.
Oh, it's great because then you can play coverage in behind. You're not alienating your putting your corners on an island. Therefore, if you can drop 7 in coverage and get pressure, that's the best of both worlds.
And again, because Bowling Green averages 44 a game, the idea is to shorten the game tonight for Ball State, using a lot of the play clock. On the blitz, quarterback keep off the zone read, and Riley Neal is short by about a couple of yards. Neal has a couple of 41-yard runs, and Brian Ward, the defensive coordinator of Bowling Green, was speaking to us earlier this week. You really got to honor his legs.
Yeah, he was just very impressed with his overall game, and yeah, as a runner, he's very underrated, but he has knocked off some big runs, and so that time Bowling Green was very aware of Riley Neal's ability, and they stopped him short of the first.
So actually, we're at a 4th down. It's 2 yards to go, and Kyle Schmidt will be on the kick. Schmidt averaging almost 41 yards a punt. A low line drive kick, taking a great Ball State bounce to the 2. What a terrific punt of 43 yards for Kyle Schmidt and no return, as Bowling Green's got to go a long ways, leading 6-0. Matt Johnson's 40th touchdown pass of the season as Bowling Green head 6-0. Matt number 2 now in all-time passing yards in the Mid-American Conference, throwing right out of his own end zone on a safe pass to Garrick Dieter, who's going to be very much involved in this offense, I think, Mark, as he was last Tuesday against Toledo.
Well, he's such a good possession receiver. He runs very crisp, sharp routes. You know where he's going to be, and that's a real comfort for Matt Johnson throwing the football.
Penalty flag thrown at the end of this play. That's going to be on Zach Ryan, likely for pass interference from his linebacking position.
Yeah, Coach Kevin Kelly, you know, he's in a real conundrum. Do you come after him and single up your DBs, or do you keep everything in front and just try to, you know, let them move down the field? It's really tough, and he just, you know, he's basically scared to death of this offense and what to do. But you know, so far they've hung tough.
Holding on the defense. Penalty will be enforced 10 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So instead of pass interference, it's holding. It'll move the football to the 19. And watch Zach Ryan trying to defend it here. And he was got his mitts all over the receiver. So first down and a pickup at 10. Back to the running game that was so efficient, over 300 total yards last year in the loss to Ball State. Travis Green approaching 1,000 yards on the season, but this time it's Fred Coppett. He's a little heavier, thicker kind of running back, and he is the future of this team, a junior out of Lauderdale, Florida, Fort Lauderdale. Back to Garrick Dieter we go. He's already had a series of catches in this game. And another Bowling Green first down. This one is now marked up at the 32-yard line.
Well, and that's why Matt Johnson's throwing for almost 70%. He hits the open guys, and he doesn't miss them. And when guys are open, he gets them the football. And so that's why he's effective, and that's why they feel good with the ball in his hands. You know, I asked Dino Babers how he compares to some of the quarterbacks that he's been around, and he's been around some good ones. He had Jimmy Garoppolo at Eastern Illinois, who backs up Tom Brady. He's been around RG3 down at Baylor, but he said Matt compares very favorably to those two guys.
Looks like a video game offense, doesn't it?
It does.
It moves so quickly. This drive started back at the 2, and already the Falcons are up to midfield.
Well, he does a great job of seeing who's off, who's singled up, and then he delivers an accurate football.
Somehow you got to get pressure on the quarterback. This toss is out to the outside. As Ryan Burbrink is on the receiving end.
And everybody runs their routes at full speed because they know Matt Johnson will get it to whomever's open, and that's the real value of this offense, that they can spread it around.
Now Roger Lewis with a catch and the lunge forward to the first down to the 39 and a pickup of 8. Roger Lewis is a sophomore, but he is eligible for the NFL draft. And the question now, among many questions with Bowling Green, is will he stay or will he go?
Well, he's got all the tools, and he's averaging over 18 yards per reception, so he's got that home run hitting kind of ability. So it's going to be a tough decision. When you lose your quarterback, all of a sudden you're thinking, well, maybe this is the right time to give the NFL a shot.
That's Kevin Thurman, backup defensive tackle, making the tackle on Coppett for a gain of 1 on the play. 2nd and 9. The Falcons are ahead on a touchdown pass moments ago, 6-0. Trying to complete the regular season. Little end-around activity. And this is Moore carrying the football. He may go to the end zone. 15, 10, going to cut back, and he is down inside the 5-yard line. They'll spot him at the 4. It's a pickup of 34 yards by Ronnie Moore.
Another big play for Moore. This time they kind of fake the zone, and then you've got Moore with a great open field speed and excellent downfield blocking, and then great cutback ability as he almost goes the distance but takes it inside the 5.
Rare I formation here, Mark, for Bowling Green. 1st and goal. Coppett straight ahead, trying to get his way to the end zone. And he's close to the 1 and a pickup of 3. Dino Baber says they've got more than 200 plays in their arsenal. Did you check your eligibility?
Yeah, this is a fun offense. Boy, so many plays are at your disposal, and they've got the power game, and they've got the ability to open things up.
And that's a touchdown by Coppett. 2 first-quarter scores by the Falcons. And for Fred, his 4th score of the year. It is now 12-0 Bowling Green, and here comes the offense.
90-plus yard drive, and good lead block there, and just a great individual effort to eventually break the plane for the score.
This was a 10-play, 97-yard drive. Accomplished
the ruling on the
4.5
field
minutes.
is a touchdown. The play is under further review.
So Coppett was rewarded a touchdown on the field, but now we'll check up with our replay official and communicator Rick Jackson and Stephen Barnes, whom we spoke to prior to the game. Let's take a look and see at the goal line if Coppett got through from the angle we're presenting. All he has to do is be able to break the plane. We got a good question for the guys up in the booth. Do they ever disagree?
Yeah, amongst each other. And they said, yeah, there have been a few times, but mostly they're on the same page. And the one kind of gives away to the boss. So they're,
which would be Rick Jackson.
Which would be Rick, yes. So, but no, they've been.
Ruling of touchdown stands.
Has to be irreversible video evidence to overturn. That was not available. And Coppett with his 4th touchdown of the season now puts Bowling Green into a 2-touchdown lead, and on to kick the extra point and try to be successful this time is Tyler Tate, who missed on the first try. Well, for the Falcons, Mark, it's business as usual. And for Bowling Green, it's already its worst nightmare. Or for Ball State, its worst nightmare.
Yeah, Bowling Green makes it look awfully easy as they just progress down the field. Run, pass, a big play on the reverse to Ronnie Moore. And then they've got the power game as well. So they've got every facet of offense covered. They can spread the field, and they can just deliver the football to a wealth of receivers.
We know this much. Bowling Green has already won the East. If Northern Illinois beats Ohio tonight, we'll be following that game for you on ESPNU. Then NIU will clinch the MAC West. Should Ohio win, though, that means games on Friday will be significant. And opportunities for Toledo and Western Michigan, Central Michigan to make it very interesting. Toledo then would have an opportunity to win the league.
Yeah, and I think Bowling Green would love another shot at Toledo in the championship. So we will see how that unfolds. But right now, Bowling Green is pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, just having her way as Tyler Tate gets set to kick off. You saw Kevon Maybon and Darian Green deep for Ball State, both inside the 10.
I'd be surprised if they kick it to Maybon again, but they are as well.
Let's see what happens. He returned one last time for 40. From the 5-yard line, Maybon with a step, across the 30 and a burst, close to the 40-yard line. And this is why Ball State is one of the best kickoff return teams in the country. I'm talking about the MAC West, which, in a word, loaded. Toledo, Northern, Western, and Central all vying for the title. Northern wins tonight, it's over in the West. If it loses, Toledo's got a chance to wrap up on Friday, then Ball State, and then Eastern Michigan. It's a tough division that the Cardinals play in. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
No question. This is a loaded division, as you said, Jim, and these are quality teams with outstanding offenses and very opportunistic defenses, and that's the way Ball State's been over the years, but there's just been a void this year. And now we've got a critical possession here for Ball State to get back into this game because they've been kind of knocked to the canvas here, and they've got to deliver some points here on this drive.
Mark, I don't think that little guy was paying attention, and he should. This is an important drive. Quick toss to Jordan Williams, who is out of bounds. They'll spot him at the 48, and a strong pickup on first down of 9. Jordan Williams playing in his final game. 21 seniors total for Ball State will end their careers this evening.
Jacob Richard, the center, has had 36 career starts, and he has had just a brilliant career from a walk-on status on to a captain of this team. So, you know, he's a guy that has just been a terrific leader and has been a great example for this offense and being able to make the calls at the line and help a freshman quarterback.
Last night, the team's head coach, Pete Lembo, spoke to the team. Along with that, the seniors got a chance to speak as well. And when you speak to the head coach about that last night, it's a night that he gets choked up, and so do a number of the players.
Well, he brings these guys in as young adults, and they leave as young men, and that's what coaching's all about and teaching. And you know, he relishes that role. And when you see a guy coming in as an 18-year-old, leaving as a 22, 23-year-old, very strong and mature young man, then that's what it's all about.
Well said. First down, Cardinals into Bowling Green territory at the 47. Quarterback Riley Neal. Green releases. Neal, high pass, dropped. 34-yard line. Wasn't an easy play to make, but Jordan Williams couldn't make it.
Well, that's what I talked about earlier. Just the consistency. That's not an easy catch, but if Jordan Williams wants to be an elite receiver, he's got to be able to make that. And I think he was worried about maybe getting that foot down, but he makes the routine catches very well. But that's one that can separate himself from the rest of the group.
Green releases as a running back. And a line drive ball thrown and caught 41-yard line. Kevon Maybon with a catch brings us to a third and about 4.
Well, that's a big catch. Mabon had to go down and scrape that off the turf pretty much. And so now you're in a great situation. 3rd and 4, and you're probably looking at 4-down territory here if you're Pete Lembo, because you're already down 13-0. So I think you've got 2 plays that you want to think about here that can be successful.
We'll see if Lembo is faced with that situation when we come back after 1 quarter. It's Bowling Green 13 and Ball State nothing, as the champions of the East try to get some momentum for the MAC championship at Ford Field. On a crisp and beautiful fall night in Muncie, Indiana, ESPN3 primetime set to start the 2nd quarter. Mark Herman and Jim Barber. Falcons 13, Cardinals zip. Right now, Ball State faced with an important 3rd and short, and you thought this might be 4-down territory for Ball State.
Well, I got to figure Pete Lembo's in nothing to lose here, and so let's think of a couple good plays. If we don't get it here on 3rd down, let's have something ready to go on 4th down, because it's going to be hard to slow down this Bowling Green offense, and you don't want any empty possessions.
Falcons blitzed earlier on 3rd down and 4, stay Riley Neal turnover, just his 4th of the year. They're coming at him with just 4-man pressure, and they bring him down. And this is what coordinator Joey Lynch was really concerned about, that front 4 can bring pressure.
Yeah, and it's Royster and Smith, and they are really tough. They're physical, a little twist stunt, and the defensive lineman uncovers for the sack. And that's exactly what they did not want. And just a really nice play by that front.
Shannon Smith and Zach Coleman. That's Smith with his 2nd sack of the year. So now it's 4th down. It's considerably more yardage for the 1st down. Do you agree with the call here?
Yeah, I think when you take that loss, that's exactly what you did not want. So you got to punt the football away.
Ryan Burbrink is back for Bowling Green, calling for the fair catch, and he dives at his 11-yard line. So the Falcons will start this drive. Not nearly as deep as they did the last one, in which they went almost the length of the field, but they'll start well inside their own 15.
Yeah, I just don't think it matters. You could line them up at the half-inch line, and they would not stray from their offense. They are so confident. Dino Babers knows this offense. He preaches confidence in what they're doing, and everybody. He talked about Matt Johnson being able to pick up this offense so quickly, and now he's kind of an extension of that coaching staff behind center.
That's Roger Lewis, the sophomore receiver. 3 receivers set off flank to the inside. Garrick Dieter looks to throw, doesn't find anybody open, and he'll go out of bounds, and we'll spot him inside the 10-yard line. So a little gadget play by the Falcons, and why not? They're up by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, Dieter looking to throw off the reverse, but pretty well diagnosed by that Ball State secondary, and no place for Dieter to go than to tuck it away, and actually lost him a couple yards. So well diagnosed by Ball State.
Derek Lee, the tight end, comes in the game for the Falcons. One of the few times Mark Matt Johnson over center. He'll sling it to the far side, and not much of a gain there. And right now the Cardinals defense is being able to spot receivers, and Darius Conaway back in the starting lineup has really been pretty impressive tonight.
Yeah, I think he's very comfortable being back in that starting lineup. A couple of real nice open field tackles and a pass broken up, and that's very much key in this game to tackle well, because yards after the catch is such a big part of this Bowling Green offense. And I think if Ball State can hold here, then you get that ball back for your offense in good field position.
It's a 3-by-1 formation, and Roger Lewis, the most dangerous, has got man coverage on the outside for the Falcons. 3-man rush for Ball State. The throw is to the running back, Travis Green, and Green's going to be short. Stopped about 5 yards short, so despite the fact that they brought their home run weapons in, Ball State able to make a stand on Bowling Green's offense.
They did a great job of keeping outside leverage, and Green had to tuck it up and run inside, and then there were 3 or 4 Ball State tacklers there waiting for him. So a nice job of getting a 3 and out here for Ball State's defense, and that's just very well played. Kevin Kelly's got to be pleased.
Yeah, he's had a couple of those tonight, 3 and out. Here's Joseph Davidson, who had a 52-yard punt the last time, to Lacanaria, who will get it on a bounce inside the 40, and they'll spot him at the 38-yard line. Work to be done for the Cardinals, who are down 2 scores. 13-0. Let's step aside. Mark, that's how you stay warm, right?
That's the best costume out there today. You'd love to have all that, that clothing on. That's a good place to be tonight.
Yep, temperature started in the 50s, dropped to the 30s tonight. Dangerous pass there from Neal, intended for Chris Schillings, who plays in the slot for the Cardinals. It'll be second down. Riley Neal's quite a find from Yorktown, Indiana, just up the road. Hardly heavily recruited. He's kind of landed in the laps of the Cardinals, who were in pursuit of him, but not along with many others.
Yeah, and it didn't take long for Ball State to realize that he was their most talented quarterback on the roster, and they gave him a quick look in this season, and he has delivered in a big way.
Falcons come with a blitz. They've got man coverage, and Neal just has to throw it away as he was knocked to the turf back at the 30. Let's talk pressure, and Bowling Green coming in had recorded 25 sacks, adding one more to it tonight, bringing to 26. Trenton Green's been getting a lot of pressure on Riley Neal so far this evening.
Yeah, no question. And as I mentioned, you don't see a lot of blitzes, but I think Bowling Green has called them at a very timely way, and they've really gotten pressure and kind of gotten Neal out of his rhythm.
Now the rush 4, drop 7, and Ball State with a short pass to Schilling goes nowhere. It's a loss on the play, and it'll bring us to 4th and 13, and Ball State must give up the ball.
Yeah, very disappointing series that time, and you can just see Bowling Green is a very underrated defense, but they've got some guys that can play and tackle in the open field, and I think they've got to be upset from a Ball State standpoint that they have not been productive in this particular quarter.
So Clint Stevens, who has a 96-yard kickoff return last year against Ball State, is back. He's number 2 for Bowling Green. Kyle Schmidt delivering his 3rd punt of this football game. Gets a little bit of hang time. Fair catch called. Bowling Green football at the 27. Let's update the other very important Mid-American Conference game tonight, as the Bobcats on their 3rd possession have gone ahead of Northern Illinois at 6:36 of the first quarter, 7-0. Jordan Reed on a 28-yard reception. That's playing very well in Toledo, Ohio tonight, because if Northern loses, Toledo has a chance to win the West and get to the MAC championship in Detroit in December.
Yes, and Toledo has had an outstanding year, and they need some help tonight. So yeah, a lot of scoreboard watching and game watching, and I think Toledo very interested in what's happening up in DeKalb.
Penalty flag on the play. We haven't had many so far.
False start, number 67, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
In fact, that's just our second, one on each team.
Well, and we asked the Bowling Green coaches about penalties because they are a very heavily penalized team, and he goes, well, when you run 9,500 plays, you've got more opportunities to get penalized.
Absolutely. In fact, they are the most penalized team in the MAC, averaging almost 9 penalties a game for 82 yards, and toward the bottom of all teams in the FBS in those numbers. 1st and 15 for Matt Johnson, trying to set up a screen on the opposite side. They get the 5 yards back and 4 to boot. Roger Lewis on the catch.
Very good screen team, and to be a good screen team, you've got to be able to block for your buddy, and that's what these wide receivers do. And Roger Lewis had very good patience, and we've documented his abilities, but it's a team effort when it comes to executing those screen plays.
Travis Green into the secondary, still running with the football. It's a first down pickup to the 40 and a carry of 9. Travis Green, Mark, is approaching 1,000 yards on this season, the all-time leading rusher for the Falcons.
He kind of gives you that Chris Johnson look. He doesn't have that great top-end speed, but the physicality, when not being very big, all of a sudden he comes out of that pile, and you think, how did that happen?
Here's Roger Lewis. He's loose. On a strike to Lewis. He carries the football inside the 25-yard line, and this Falcon offense is playing fast now.
Well, that's an NFL throw because you're throwing it against the 2 coverage. the up corner and then the safety, and you throw it in that little void area, and you can see Roger Lewis's ability to go get the football, and that's why NFL scouts are really taking a look at Mr. Lewis for next year.
Lewis, again, is a sophomore. He has played on another level, though, so he is eligible.
The ball was snapped prior to all the officials being in position. That's a warning, and that's Bowling Green's first warning of the game.
Explanation from our referee, then Dino Babers will hear from it. That's our center judge, which has been added as the 8th referee this year. And now they're going to explain to Babers, whose team likes to go Ferrari fast, that they went a little too fast there.
Yeah, you've got to let that official get set, just like your offense, and a warning for the Bowling Green sideline. And you know that they want to go warp speed, and anything that slows down Dino Babers, he's not in favor of.
That catch by Lewis, good for 38 yards. The football spotted at the 22. And Matt Johnson is closing in and becoming the all-time leader in the Mid-American Conference on throwing yards.
And this offensive line really takes care of him. He's able to scan the field and find receivers.
Garrick Dieter. Dieter named after the great Lou Gehrig. He's a family of baseball interests, and his mom and dad did a pretty good job of naming everybody in the family with some baseball historical reference. The give straight ahead, Travis Green trying to make his way inside the 5-yard line. Matt Johnson now 14 of 17 on this game, closing in on that all-time mark.
And their goal from a passing standpoint is 75%. That's a lofty goal, but they really feel like they're able to do that with the scheme that they have in place.
Straight ahead, Green to the end zone. Touchdown. Travis Green puts the Falcons up by 3 scores.
Travis Green, and I mentioned that offensive line, which is a little underrated. We talk about that offense, but you got to have the guys up front clearing the way, and Travis Green found a nice seam for his first score of the evening, and that's just another very efficient, impressive drive for the Falcons.
Well, you mentioned the offensive line, Jacob Bennett and Logan Dietz at the tackles, Ryan Hunter and Alex Huddle at the guards, and the center, Tim McAuliffe, just one senior in that group. 38-yard toss to Roger Lewis, and then the short run by Green, and Bowling Green threatening to make it a rout. For the year, Bowling Green running back Travis Green, 11 touchdowns, 963 yards. I'll put these numbers marked for his career, 35-16 rushing and 34 scores.
Well, he overtook an old teammate of mine with the Denver Broncos, a guy named Dave Preston, who was an outstanding running back, and Travis Green has led this team in rushing the last 3 years. He's ultimately consistent and has just been such a nice change-up from the passing game that he's a danger in himself.
Tate's kickoff is to Darian Green, about a yard in. Green running to the near side of the field, can't make it to the 15. Should update something and correct something I mentioned earlier. Matt Johnson still about 100 yards away from becoming the all-time leading passing quarterback in the Mid-American Conference. Some guy named Roethlisberger, I think, was on that list.
In the bad list, and we'll see that in a little bit. But, yeah, the few NFL guys on that group. And that brings up the point I asked about, the NFL scouts coming in to take a look at Matt Johnson. He's not the tallest guy. He said, yeah, there's some interest. I mean, this guy's been so productive in his career, and there's a place for somebody, ask Drew Brees and Russell Wilson. Guys that can make plays can make it in that league.
In the meantime, Riley Neal, who would like to play in the National Football League someday as a freshman, tries to jumpstart this offense, but that will not happen on first down. It's becoming more and more evident that as Harris makes the tackle that Ball State cannot run the football.
No, and they're going to have to start pushing it down the field a little bit, give some of these big physical wide receivers a chance in one-on-one. Jordan Williams can go get it, as can Kevon Maybon, and a lot of things have been a hitch or the slip screens, and they've got to kind of threaten down the field.
Loss of 2 yards on the play, 2nd and 12 as we dip under the 9-minute mark for the first half. 3-receiver formation. To the right goes Neal on the toss to Maybon. They'll spot him at the 13-yard line. He'll pick up 3 back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10. Once again, a 3rd and long for the Cardinals, and it seems like when they arrived at the stadium, they were in 3rd and long tonight.
That's right, and it's playing out just like Brian Ward, defensive coordinator for Bowling Green, wanted it. He wanted to keep a young quarterback in long yardage situations, and then his very experienced secondary can make plays on the ball, and of course this front 4 can get after him and pressure him into mistakes.
Think they'll send pressure here?
I think they're going to rush 4.
Neal back to pass. This one is picked off. 2nd interception of the game. That's Tyler Hardy with the pick, the Notre Dame transfer.
Well, you asked the question, and Bowling Green did bring pressure. They brought 6 that time, and they did just what they wanted. They forced Riley Neal into a very difficult throw. Look at the pressure, and Riley Neal, ill-advised pass. The ball gets tipped, and Hardy there for the pick.
So 8 yards on the return to the 20-yard line. Bowling Green with this high-octane offense is already in the red zone. If you remember, Neal was picked off after Bowling Green sent the blitz in the first quarter, and that interception midfield resulted in a 50-yard scoring drive for the Falcons. Threatening to go up by 4 touchdowns. Hand off to Coppett, who was met at the line of scrimmage. Let's update the numbers on the man who's trying to become the all-time passing leader for the Mid-America Conference. The man is right behind Big Ben.
Well, that is an impressive. You know, the MAC has turned out some pretty darn good quarterbacks, and Matt Johnson right in the midst of some pretty big names as he looks to add to that total here to Garrett Dieter.
On the crossing pattern to Dieter, who goes out of bounds inside the 15. Garrett Dieter, who had 13 catches last week in the loss of the Rockets in a game in which Bowling Green, at least to me, shockingly, was down 30-7 at halftime.
Yeah, things just did not go well for Bowling Green, and for whatever reason, they just struggled from the get-go, but tonight's version is awfully impressive, and they just make it look so easy. It's like 7-on-7 out there in the passing drill. Guys just coming open and making good plays.
An interesting call on 3rd down. Josh Posey able to make the tackle, no gain on the play. Brings Bowling Green to a 4th and 6, and at least right now it looks like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, like I said, they are supremely confident in what they do, and they just feel like they're going to pick out the best matchup and deliver the football.
Johnson needs to pick up 6, firing, incomplete. Cardinals make a stand.
That's a big play by Ball State. Nicely done in that secondary. And Dedrick Camardi with the coverage and tight coverage, and he was able to knock the football away. Matt Johnson had to step up and try to find that throwing lane, and that's just very well done at the height of that throw.
Intended for Ryan Burbrink. He thought there was contact and there should have been pass interference. How do you assess it?
Well, you know, that's a bang play. It looked like Cromartie got there just in time, and of course, you know, the receiver's going to try to sell his case, but I think that's just good defense.
Well, does a play like that turn this game around? Schillings goes in motion. The fake to Gilbert and the throw incomplete.
Yeah, I think Ball State's got to get back to the running game a little bit. Riley Neal looks a little out of sorts here. He's just, you know, since that first interception, I think Bowling Green has kind of gotten him out, kind of off his mark, and I'm not sure he's delivering the football and seeing things like he should. So I think Darian Green and James Gilbert have got to deliver here a little bit.
Well, you mentioned the rushing attack, just 14 total yards so far. 2nd and 10. Off the zone read, James Gilbert bouncing to the outside. Well, that'll help, because Gilbert able to carry the football for a first down to the 29-yard line. And folks, this is the future of Ball State running.
Yeah, it's a good future. I think James Gilbert really shows a lot of good things. He's tough. He's got some quickness, and you saw that he was able to turn the corner against this very quick Bowling Green defense. So it just takes a couple first downs, and then you start feeling good about yourself and what you're doing.
Well, if you could find a way, if you're Ball State, to march the length of the field and use the remaining 6 minutes and reduce this to a 2-score game at the break, you get the ball to start the second half. A lot of ifs in there, by the way.
Yeah, that would love to be the case, but that's easier said than done.
Falcons in at 8-3, 6-1 in the Mid-American East. Ball State 3-8 and 2-5 in the MAC West, a loaded MAC West. And tonight we mentioned Ohio is leading Northern Illinois in a game that, if Northern Illinois wins, would wrap up the division for them, put them in the championship game at Ford Field the first Friday in December against Bowling Green.
Well, and Bowling Green has challenged themselves all year. They played Tennessee on a neutral field. They played Memphis at home. They went to Purdue, although Purdue, has struggled this year, but it's still a Power 6 conference, Power 5.
Another first down carry, and updating Northern and Ohio. The Huskies have tied that game at 7 with 2:55 remaining in the first quarter in the game in DeKalb. It's a game on ESPNU tonight, as ESPN networks have the MAC covered. Again, an NIU win clinches the MAC West and sends them to the championship game for a rematch with Bowling Green from a few seasons ago.
Yeah, these two have been staples at the top of their respective divisions, so it's no surprise that they're vying for the championship.
Neal on first down, strike past the 45-yard line. James Gilbert has helped open up this attack a little bit more with 2 first down rushes, and now to throw to Jordan Williams.
Yeah, very good point, Jim. I think they start respecting the play action fake then, and then you get Jordan Williams on the outside. Now you're 2nd and 5. So this is much better situation, and that's what the run game does for you, because this front four for Bowling Green, they just want to rush the passer, and they've got to have to respect the run.
And you mentioned, because they have affected the game of Riley Neal. He's just 9 of 17, 55 yards, and 2 pretty important picks that have resulted in 14 points for Bowling Green. 2nd and 5 after the catch by Williams, 4-5. James Gilbert straight ahead with that power.
James Gilbert, the ball carrier.
He's a smaller version of Juwan Edwards, but he runs a lot like him, which he puts that head down and said, I'm coming right after you.
Yeah, you got to keep your pad level down against his physical front, and he's able to get yards after that first hit, and that's probably the biggest measurable for a running back. Can they fight through contact and get another yard or 2 to give you a chance on 3rd down?
It is 3rd and 1. Ball State will use time here with 15 on the play clock and down to almost 3:30 for the first half. Trailing by 3 scores, 20-0, but on the move. Gilbert again, the ball carrier. He's got enough. First down, Ball State.
Boy, very impressive run once again. Sometimes you got to be your own blocker, and sometimes there's guys sitting in the hole that you've got to take care of. And James Gilbert got his pad level down below the defender, and it was able to get that first down. And that's a big conversion here as we approach the 3-minute mark in this first half.
Gilbert, 6 carries, 37 yards. On this drive alone, he has carried for 3 first downs.
Once again, slow tempo. They want this to be the last possession of the half, and hopefully we'll end with a score, and particularly a touchdown for Ball State.
And 3 timeouts marked remaining. And to start the second half, Ball State will have the ball again. Neal, dangerous pass out to the flat. Ball caught almost like a running play to Jordan Williams, and he is driven out of bounds.
Well, you can see that secondary starting to inch up on that throw now. You've seen a number of hitch routes, and I'm just waiting for that double move where Jordan Williams fakes the hitch and then turns it loose and going for the big play. So I would keep that in mind as this game goes on.
What do all the signals over there mean?
Well, you've got usually a live guy for each series, and whether it be the backup quarterback or the assistant coach, that's kind of designated as you go, but you kind of got to sort through, and you've got some dummy signals that you've got to be able to decipher.
At halftime, we'll visit with the Oklahoma quarterback who has gone from walk-on to star, And the Sooners in particular are in the top 4 of the college football playoff rankings. So it's been a big week as they approach the Bedlam game with Oklahoma State. We hope you can join us at the break.
Yeah, and they overcame that kind of what you would call a bad loss to Texas in that shootout. And Oklahoma's really risen their level of play, and now they're sitting in pretty good shape here facing that Bedlam game in Oklahoma State.
Cardinals right now facing a 3rd and 5 with a $1.50 to go in the first half. 4-man rush, double pump, throw picked off. 3rd interception thrown by Neal. So in the first half in this game alone, Neal has been picked 3 times.
Alfonso Mack with the interception.
Alfonso Mack with the return. Pleased to have you with us tonight on ESPN3 Primetime. Bowling Green leading Ball State, which was marching at 20-0, and then the freshman Riley Neal threw his 3rd pick of the game to match his total of the season.
Well, Jim, you made that comment that he looked like a freshman. He has looked like a freshman tonight. He's just not seeing things well. A lot of zone coverage and just an inaccurate throw. And Alfonso Mack there for his 5th pick of the year. So, boy, just a very unfortunate turnover here for Ball State at the end of the half.
Matt Johnson's got a sideline receiver. Question is, was the foot in? It was for Garrett Dieter with a catch at the 14 and a gain of 12.
He's absolutely the king of acrobatic catches, whether it be, one-handed, right-handed, left-handed. This one, he's tight-roping the sideline, and watch him go up and get that and have the 1 foot down. So very good recognition there by Dieter.
Johnson on a seam ball to the 5-yard line. That's Burbrink with the catch. And Bowling Green will use a timeout with 44 seconds left.
The result of the play is a first down for Bowling Green. Timeout, Bowling Green. That's their first timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
It was just a laser from the quarterback, Matt Johnson. And we go back to what you mentioned earlier, it's 6'1", that initially a lot of NFL scouts says, not big enough to play in the league, but the more they've seen him in practice and in games, they're coming away with a different opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot deny production, and particularly you look around the league, and I kind of compare him maybe to a Ryan Fitzpatrick, who is not a big guy, but he's lasted in the league. He's not been great by any means, but I think Matt Johnson would take that career right now, and I think he has shown his arm strength. I think he's shown accuracy. He's able to move in the pocket and buy time and stretch out plays. So, and he's a smart guy, and he loves the game, and most of all, he's very tough. And the coaching staff is extremely impressed with him as a leader. So I think he's got a future. I'm extremely impressed with him.
And we all are. 1st and goal now from the 4. Johnson, incomplete, intended for Roger Lewis. And defended by Darius Conway, who has been a bright spot in that Ball State secondary, which a lot of people feel has been the weak link on this team.
Yeah, and they're all coming back next year, but this, has been a tough year growing pains-wise, and there's just not been a lot of playmakers in that secondary this year.
Now Johnson will empty the backfield out. And will give to his fake to his tight end and went straight ahead for the touchdown. 4th score of the first half. So Johnson, typically not running with the football, gets his 4th rushing score of the year, and it is now 26-0.
Well, it's just good ball handling, and you kind of override tendencies, and Matt Johnson just strolls into the end zone. So another more points off turnovers for this Bowling Green Falcon offense, and it's been very, very impressive.
Yes, this is the 3rd score off an interception thrown by Riley Neal. Tyler Tate for the extra point missed his first one. He has drilled his last 3. So Bowling Green is getting its revenge. Dino Babers, the head coach, said we won't speak to that this week, but the fact of the matter is, when you read a lot of the comments from the players, they had not forgotten the loss in the snow and have come out tonight and have taken full advantage with their defense really stepping up and putting the offense, as you mentioned, Mark, in great field position to score.
Yeah, and I think there's some disappointment from last week as well. They know they didn't come out and play a good, particularly first half against Toledo. Turnovers, penalties, and all those things that this team is, the penalties have been bad, but turnovers, they've been very good, and I think they came out and made a statement tonight that that's not the offense that they are. This is more of like the version that we expected.
Have to be pretty pleased with their defense, and coordinator Brian Ward, whose team was down 30-7 at halftime against Toledo last week, and a very important senior day for them, tonight pitching a shutout.
Yeah, they gave up, 182 yards in the first half and then just 107 in the second. So, yeah, and they didn't make many changes. They just played a lot smarter and harder, and I think that's what they're building off of coming into this week, that they felt like they could really force Riley Neal into some mistakes.
High end-around kick will be fielded at the 25. Darian Green on the return. Still with the football up to midfield and past midfield to the 45 of the Falcons. A return of 30 and great field position right now for Ball State. Still with 3 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, they've got a chance here to get something going here before the half. That's a big play by Darian Green, and a little pooch kick kind of backfired against the Falcons here. So let's see if Riley Neal can settle himself down and get something going here to end the half.
Spot is officially at the Falcon 46. Kevon Mavon comes to the near side. Jordan Williams flanked to the far side. Lacanaria is also the receiver in the slot. On first down, 4-man rush, trying to set up the screen, and Darian Green, well, he wasn't in position to catch it and didn't.
He got kind of caught up in the wash there and was not able to get a clean release, and Riley Neal was under heavy duress to get rid of that football and just could not operate there timing-wise, and so that's a win here for Bowling Green on first down.
Now 23 seconds remaining. Capital One halftime report coming up. Falcons rush 4, drop 7. Neal looking down the field, tries to shoot at the sideline, but nowhere near the playing field and Jordan Williams. Now we have 17 seconds to go.
And Riley Neal, as he grows, he will be able to look at the entire field. Even though he was drifting left, you've got to be able to see the whole landscape. And as a young player, sometimes you get that tunnel vision and you try to really will somebody open, and there may be somebody else that uncovers. And I think as he grows and gets more experience at the position, he'll find those second and third receivers.
Yeah, they really want him to avoid locking in on a receiver or a certain part of the formation. Now Neal in trouble, just has to get rid of the football in the direction of Lacanaria. It'll be 4th down with 12 seconds remaining.
Boy, I've been so impressed with this Bowling Green defense. They've just gotten after Riley Neal.
4th down.
And they've given him a lot of different looks, and it's created a lot of confusion in his mind, and therefore he's not been accurate and he's not been decisive, and it's just been really a well-comprised defensive effort by Brian Ward and his staff.
And we saw Taylor Royster in your picture, number 33 of the Falcons. For 260, he can move.
he can. He's got the spin move, he's got a power move, and he is more athletic than you think.
First half is over.
That's the end of the first half.
They are champions of the Eastern Division, and for good reason. Bowling Green 7-1 at the break with a comfortable halftime lead of 27-0. We come back with a great story on Oklahoma and its starting quarterback.
All excited to book that vacation flight. Plenty of seats to choose from, right? But the minute you try to use reward miles from your airline credit card, It's slim pickings. The flight you want, sorry, they ask for a ridiculous number of miles. Time to switch to the Capital One Venture Card. With Venture, you'll earn unlimited double miles. And using those miles is easy. Just book any flight you want on any airline, then use your miles to cover the cost. No blackout dates. What's in your wallet?
Welcome to the Capital One Halftime Report. Baker Mayfield of Oklahoma, the starting quarterback, is an amazing story. He's a walk-on, but now has the potential of winning a conference championship and the Heisman Trophy.
I am the greatest.
Mayfield's got it, still on his feet, dancing toward the sidelines, backs up, wants to throw, got a man, he's into the end zone. You gotta be kidding me.
It's probably a story that's never been told, that a guy's walked on 2 different programs to move up and become a Heisman Trophy winner. In fact, I'm sure that's never happened.
From Austin, Texas. I was a 2-sport guy, I played baseball too. I felt like I got overlooked and I didn't get the offers I wanted, so I decided to walk on at Texas Tech, not too far from home.
Mayfield looked left, now he's going to run the quarterback draw straight up the middle, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Red Raiders!
After I decided I was leaving Texas Tech, it was kind of looked at the options. I grew up an OU fan. Ever since I was little, a lot of people don't know this, but I just always dreamed of coming here and playing, so I just took a shot at my dream.
First time I met him was after winning the Sugar Bowl. This guy's transferring here to Oklahoma to play quarterback, and our redshirt freshman has just been the Sugar Bowl MVP. I do remember thinking that he's got a lot of confidence.
Mayfield looking, scrambling, retreating, fires to the end zone for a touchdown.
Baker Mayfield, a magic trick.
As a little kid, you loved playing football no matter where it was, a recess, in your backyard, and that's what I try and do every time I step on the field.
I cannot say enough about Baker Mayfield.
I'm an emotional player. I have a lot of energy. When people talk trash to me, I'm not going to back down. I'm not scared of anybody.
He has a ton of enthusiasm, has a natural way of spreading it. It's infectious and doesn't hold it back, and good for him.
The voters love Heisman moments. I think Baker Mayfield wins it.
Welcome back to the Capital One Halftime Report. Next up for Bowling Green after tonight, a week from Friday, Ford Field, the MAC championship game. Who will be against? Well, still to be determined. Josiah Yazdani has a 22-yard field goal. The Bobcats have gone ahead of Northern Illinois 10-7. J.D. Sprague has also thrown for a touchdown for Ohio. If Northern wins, they win the West and will face Bowling Green a week from Friday. But if Northern loses, the door is open for Toledo to clinch the championship Friday afternoon. The Western Division has been a terrific league. It's a combined 22-6 mark for the 4 teams in conference play.
Awfully impressive, and Toledo sitting at the top, waiting for that Northern Illinois-Ohio score to be a final. But Ohio really going into DeKalb and playing a great game. Really not surprising to me, because Ohio is a quality program under Frank Solich, and really very competitive group.
Yeah, 4 teams in the West, as you saw earlier, bowl eligible. In the East, Bowling Green, Ohio already in. Buffalo and Akron can accomplish that this weekend. Bowling Green won the Eastern Division a couple of games ago, and now is just playing out its final game in preparation for that conference championship game in Detroit. We'll take a look back at the first half, which Bowling Green has played very well defensively and has done its usual harm on offense. Now those are some fans there, sticking it out despite the fact that their team, in all likelihood, is not going to win tonight, trailing Bowling Green 27-0. Welcome back to the Capital One Halftime Report. Jim Barber and the College Football Hall of Famer Mark Herman well. 4-touchdown deficit for Ball State. Should we be surprised at this point?
Well, no. With the offense of Bowling Green, of course not. But the defense for Bowling Green was so impressive, creating 3 turnovers, really making Riley Neal very uncomfortable, and they took advantage of those 3 turnovers with 3 scores. So total team effort, total domination by the Falcons.
Yeah, it's interesting. The first half success for Bowling Green, turnovers lead to touchdowns. Let's show you some of the highlights as Riley Neal, the true freshman for Ball State, really had a tough first half.
Yeah, very ill-advised throw here early in this football game, back against the grain, and a heck of a play there by Denard Turner. And then Fulkersma with just a second catch of the year for the score to get Bowling Green on the board.
And then you use your other running backs as well. That's Fred Coppett, the more rugged running back. And then with a 13-0 lead, Neal picked again, and this time it's Eiler Hardy, the Notre Dame transfer.
Yeah, pressure in Riley's lap, and he made another poor throw, and then once again he's not seeing things well, thrown in behind, and Alfonso Mack with his 5th interception on the year.
This is a team now that's plus 11 in turnover margin. That's one of the best in the country. Johnson with a terrific fake made it 27-0. First half numbers very efficient for Bowling Green. 259 total yards, good on third down, really good in the red zone with 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, they're so efficient and they're so explosive, and they move the football all around to their different receivers and backs. And then defensively, they create a lot of havoc. Third downs, just 3 for 10, and then the turnovers were the killer. Ball State could not afford to lose the turnover battle and have a chance tonight against this potent offense.
Now the Cardinals will get the football to start the second half, and you wonder, can they accomplish anything? What might have been discussed at halftime?
Well, we saying Ball State, we've got to get something going in the run game. Let's settle down. Let's just take it first down by first down, and then try to ease our way back into this second half. But it's a big challenge, as you can see. But it's just been tough sledding all night for Ball State.
All right, Falcon fans, you'll be indoors the next game. We should be pleased to hear that. With the MAC championship game against Northern Illinois or Toledo.
Larry?
Jesse?
So, you got any big New Year's Eve plans?
Not at all. I'm just going to be sitting at home alone watching the college football playoff all by myself. Just me and the TV, and,
Oh, hey, Larry. Thanks for the invite. Playoff party at your place.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know that.
Party?
Well, yeah, it's less of a party, more of a small get-together.
Hey, Larry. See you at the party.
And John. He's coming.
Wow.
I know. You ever tasted his bean dip, man? Out of this world.
High school, knock it up here. High school.
Hi, would you sign my petition?
Miss, can you sign my petition?
It says, I, Larry Culpepper,
to present the national championship trophy
to the winner of the college football playoff.
I invented the playoff. I should be able to hand out the trophy.
That's my job. Who are you?
Almost got John Saunders to sign it. If I give you a Dr. Pepper, will you sign my petition?
No.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here.
Now give me 6. Don't spill on it. I can't read that. You're going to have to do it again.
Let's go, knock it up here. Let's go, knock it up here.
Let's follow Larry with the Week 13 rankings for the college football playoff. Clemson, Bama, Oklahoma, Iowa on the fringe. Michigan State, Notre Dame, Baylor, Ohio State, Stanford, and Michigan. First of all, do you agree with the committee?
Yes, I do. I mean, you look at Iowa starting at number 4. They've not lost a game. They've had some impressive wins at Wisconsin, and they've got a big one at Nebraska on Friday, and so we'll see what happens there. But I think Oklahoma is one of the real fast rising teams. They're hot, and they've got a big one against Oklahoma State, and of course Clemson, Alabama have been outstanding all year long.
This weekend, Notre Dame plays at Stanford. Oklahoma plays on the road at Oklahoma State. Iowa will be on the road in its game at Nebraska, and Michigan State hosts Penn State. And oh, by the way, Ohio State travels to Michigan.
Yeah, and that one's always fun. And of course, you throw in Jim Harbaugh this year, and so that rivalry all of a sudden gets a little more heated. And Ohio State coming off a very disappointing effort against Michigan State, so they'll look to rebound and against their arch rival. So a lot of drama in that one, I predict.
And here at the stadium, 27-0, but these kids over here, they don't care. They're staying warm, they're jumping around, they're staying up past curfew.
Life is good. Thanksgiving's 2 days away.
That's right.
We can't wait.
In the bounce house here until Mom and Dad come in. Let's revisit our impact performance. Garrick Dieter has made 8 catches. You've highlighted him a lot tonight for 70 yards. Zach Colvin, the old man on the defensive line for Bowling Green, has a couple of tackles. Kevon Maybon has been neutralized tonight with 3 catches for just 22.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in them not getting the football more to Kevon because he does have that breakaway ability, and he had a couple of nice kickoff returns, which we know he's very proficient at, but just not a lot of big plays from the Ball State offense. They've just really bogged down on first down, and it's been a struggle the entire way, and you throw in the 3 interceptions, and it's just been a very futile effort here in the first half.
Now, what did Joey Lynch tell us about Zach Colvin, who you saw in the picture moments ago? He's kind of an old school, big active player in that defensive line and always there for a disruption. Kevon Maybon set to return to start the second half. He's had a couple of good kick returns so far, totaling 78 yards in 2 tries. Tyler Tate with the football here, and we'll get started.
I'm sure Pete Lembo said to his offense that this is not us. We're not operating the way we're used to and being efficient, and let's get back to being fundamental. Let's make some plays on the early downs. Let's get something going here, get on the scoreboard. I imagine it's been a long, long time since the Cardinals have been shut out in a game.
And that's the story to this point. Maybon and Green are deep. That's Green about a yard from the end zone. Darian Green with a bust, 25-30, still going to football to the 40. And Green with a return into Bowling Green territory. One facet of the Cardinals game has been exceptional tonight, and you just saw it.
Yeah, they've been outstanding. Every return has been very successful, and this time Darian Green gets the call, and Kevon Maybon becomes a lead blocker, and just very well blocked. Look at the space that Green has, and then he just uses his ability. And this is a great start to get in Bowling Green territory to start this drive.
Well, how about this? That's a return of 52, Mark. Total yards for the offense tonight, 114. On kick returns, 172.
Yeah, that's right.
That's your offense, right?
The bad thing is when you're receiving kicks, you're generally on the bad side of the score.
Absolutely. You've just given up at least 3 or 7. Good point. Green carries to start the second half. And a pickup of 3. Back next year for the running attack, Williamson, whom we've not seen tonight, Green and Gilbert. Green's a sophomore. Gilbert's a freshman. Riley Neal is a freshman. And Green is down right now. This game has been virtually injury-free until this moment.
Yeah, in the last game of the year, it's fairly difficult to see, and you hope he's all right.
Timeout.
Ankle injury for Darian Green. He's being attended to on the sidelines. Play resumes for Ball State without him on a 2nd and 7 from the Bowling Green 45. We'll update Northern Illinois and Ohio momentarily. But there's James Gilbert carrying for a first down to the 37. Let's go back first, though, to the injury for Darian Green.
Yeah, and it appeared he may have gotten rolled up on by the Falcon defender there, number 37 for Bowling Green. Yeah, unfortunate injury. Darian Green just had the nice kickoff return, and it's had a solid game and a solid year. You hope he'll be able to return to the lineup.
In the meantime, Mark, 8th carry of the night for James Gilbert. 4 of them have been for first downs.
Yeah, Gilbert has been extremely impressive. Just a hard-running young back, and I think he's been a real bright spot for the offense here tonight.
And this is the best threat of the night for the Cardinal offense to start the second half. Down 27-0, play action, Riley Neal. With a look down the field, shooting one to the sidelines and way over the head of Kevon Maybon.
They're trying to get Chris Schilling in the slot. He was running a little double move and trying to get to the post, and well defended. Bowling Green just seems to be inside the head of Riley Neal tonight and kind of guessing the correct way on all these routes. So just very well defended, and Riley Neal just didn't have anywhere to go with the football.
Neal was picked 3 times in the first half, all leading to Falcons touchdowns. Teddy Williamson getting a chance to carry for the football for the first time, and a solid gain on second down. Williamson picks up 8.
Yeah, Williamson backed up Juwan Edwards a little bit last year with Horatio Banks, and now is not seeing a lot of time with the 2 young backs emerging, but that was a nice carry. Very good gain there on second down. Now you're looking at 3rd and 2.
And I think we can assume with this deficit as they respot the ball that this is 4-down territory.
Yeah, no question. You've got to go for touchdowns every time you're in this territory.
Williamson again, the lone back. On the zone read, carries the football, play blown up at the line of scrimmage, and so now a decision for Pete Lembo. Does he attempt a long field goal on 4th and 2 or go for the 2 yards needed to continue the drive?
Well, look at the play here. Austin Valdez, leading tackler, just fills that hole, and what a hit on Williamson. He went directly backwards, and there's a playmaker on defense. We haven't talked about a lot tonight, but he has been a real playmaker all year long for the Falcons.
Yeah, he had 13 tackles at Tennessee. He's really the heart and soul of that defense, just a sophomore. 4th and 2, Cardinals go for it. Direct snap, quarterback Neal rolling out and looking and throwing at the last minute, incomplete. And Bowling Green makes a defensive stand and got great pressure from Trenton Green, who tracked him down and forced him to throw at the last minute.
Yeah, and you're hoping for man coverage on the sprint out. It's kind of the old Bill Walsh flood to that side, but just very well covered again by Bowling Green, and they've just been outstanding. Riley Neal has been under 50%, and it's just struggled to find open receivers.
So Matt Johnson, 17 of 22 tonight, 184. Back on offense at quarterback for Bowling Green, becoming the all-time leader shortly in the Mid-American Conference in passing yards. Just 74 yards from topping Big Ben, who played and starred at Miami, Ohio.
Yeah, and Byron Leftwich was on that list a couple times. You know, Chad Pennington, these guys, it's just a star-studded list. And Matt Johnson right there with him.
Here's Coppett into the secondary. Could be a race to the end zone. Fred Coppett still with a football and down inside the 5.
Well, Fred Coppett proving that he's got some speed in the open field, and once again beautifully blocked, and Coppett breaks a tackle at the line, and no Ball State defender in the picture for a long time, and he finally gets caught inside the 5.
Good for 56 yards. The Falcons now over 100 yards running. Coppett trying to make his way to the end zone is short by about a yard. It'll be 2nd and goal for the Falcons, trying to add their 5th touchdown in the game, and now we have an injured Bowling Green player. That's 83, tight end Derek Lee. Been a big part of their passing game this year. Coppett now 10 carries, 83 yards, and a touchdown. Lee out of Wichita, Kansas at 6'4", 258. Good blocking tight end. And he's also caught 17 balls this year.
Yeah.
Pretty good on the shovel pass this season as well.
Exactly, yes. And let's see if he got rolled up on as well. Just kind of collapsed the defender, and not exactly sure what the injury was here, but
so in the second half for Ball State, we've seen running back Darian Green go down, and now Derek Lee, the tight end for the Falcons.
This isn't a big tight end focused kind of offense, but the guys that are in there occasionally are very productive, and he's had a nice career here with Bowling Green, and hopefully if we can get another look at it here. Yeah.
He got kicked there.
Yes.
But right now they have hands to his helmet.
Watch the way he comes off the line of scrimmage. He gets popped in the head, and it just hangs on.
There's some speculation he might have got hit in the head. But under his own power, he's able to walk off.
Yeah, looks a little bit shaky here, and I'm sure they'll really take a good look and go through some protocol.
Gets a pat on the helmet, which might be the last place that.
Yeah.
But hopefully he's okay. Matt Johnson back to run the offense with Lee out. It'll be a 2nd and goal from the 1. In the pistol formation, Coppett right behind the quarterback, along with 2 bodyguards. To Garrett Dieter, to the end zone. Caught, touchdown. Dieter's 4th touchdown reception in 2 weeks. And it is now 33-0 Falcons.
They love the fade route from that left hash where you give Dieter a lot of room to operate to the wide side of the field, and just an excellent throw as he gets enough separation, and Dieter is not going to drop the football. He's just so adept at maintaining that concentration and focus and then finishing the play, and that's just hard to defend and well executed.
You think about it, Mark, with all the emphasis on defending Roger Lewis, the All-American wideout, Garrett Dieter has really emerged as a star in this team. He now has 9 touchdown catches for the year. Bowling Green adding to its halftime total, now leading 34-0. Just a few minutes into the 3rd quarter. Jim Barber with Mark Herman. Final game of the Mid-American Conference regular season for both teams. Still plenty of action for the rest of the league later this weekend. Tyler Tate's been busy kicking extra points and kicking off. This return from the 5. Ball State has had excellent return coverage today, and that's Swetney Brown, the backup wide receiver. Let's update the other game going on tonight. This game is playing very well in Toledo, Ohio. Ohio 20, Northern Illinois 7. Sprague has thrown for a touchdown pass for the Bobcats. Heitzman, the backup, has thrown a touchdown pass, had a couple field goals with it. Northern wins, they win the MAC West. What happens if they lose? Well, Toledo will host Western Michigan on Friday afternoon, and that means that the Rockets will have a chance to win the division if that score holds, which means we could have a Toledo Bowling Green rematch.
That I-75 rivalry would move a little north up to Ford Field, and another chance for the Falcons to exact a little revenge on the Rockets.
You don't think they'd want another chance, do you?
Heck no. They just want to let that one go.
Yep. James Gilbert without Green now, along with Teddy Williamson, will get the principal running attack going for Ball State in the second half. There's Valdez again. The heart and soul, really, of this Bowling Green defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was actually a high school quarterback, and even Joey Lynch commented that they looked at Valdez and saw him as just a football player. He was a physical quarterback and eventually moved to the defensive side of the ball. I never thought about doing that, but Valdez has moved over there.
You didn't have to. You were a star.
But he has moved over there, and you're right. He is the heart and soul of this defense.
As spoken by the man who threw for nearly 10,000 yards in college at Purdue, college football Hall of Famer. What, dozen years or so in the National Football League?
Yep, very, very grateful and thankful, and had a good ride, and it was a wonderful experience.
I love our replay officials tonight, Rick Jackson and Steve Barnes. I wanted to know if you still throw the football.
As long as I didn't have to move anywhere, I could probably still throw it. But, yeah, don't rush me, though.
Yeah, these linemen are now pretty quick, aren't they?
Yeah, they're big and fast. You used to be able to outrun some of the big guys, but now they're running 4.7, 4.8. And you look at Royster, amongst others, and he can get after you.
And you saw Shannon Smith, who has a sack in this game in your picture. That's Gilbert carrying the football. But he is short of the first down marker, brings up 4th and 2. And if you're Pete Lemmo, do you say, what the heck?
Yeah, I think you've got to. This one's out of control, and you just got to try to possess the football, but it looks like Pete is opting to punt the football away.
12's your punter, 17.
Been a disappointing year for him. I asked him yesterday at practice, will there be some coaching changes? He said, I won't speak to you about that. But in my 15 years of coaching, I've made just a couple of changes for fits that just didn't seem to work out. He stays very loyal to his guys, and I think he's going to try to find within the program and cooperation with the administration some way to get football back where it needs to be here at Ball State after 3 years of making bowl games and now 2 years of being left out.
Yeah, they've had a nice run at Ball State, and they've had some good gears and good players, and they've got to get back to getting those impact kind of players on this roster. And coaching changes is just kind of the way it is in college. Either a guy leaves on his own, or you make some changes within your staff.
All right, this is the only drama in this football game right now. 72 to tie Roethlisberger, 73 to set a single season passing yard mark. He is at 44-14. And he will throw on first down.
Yeah, and I get the feeling Bowling Green never really takes their foot off the gas. They just kind of continue to do what they do, and they're so confident in their ability to make completions, and guys make plays. It's almost like a toss sweep to run that little slip screen. So I think you'll continue to see Matt Johnson going to the air.
So if Johnson sets the record in this drive, time to put him on the shelf?
I would think about it, absolutely. You've gotten a great game out of him, and you don't want to risk him getting some kind of little crazy injury as this game is out of reach, and you don't want him getting stepped on or laid on or anything like that. So I would definitely consider maybe going to the backup for the last quarter.
That was Ronnie Moore on the catch, and David Moore with a pop near the sidelines. Johnson on play action will shoot it down the field, and man coverage for Lewis. Incomplete. And defended well back at the 30-yard line. It's not an easy play to make, and Tyree Holder was going man-on-man with one of the most dangerous receivers in college football.
Yeah, that's one of the better plays we've seen tonight. Tyree Holder going over the top and really challenging the football. You're right, Roger Lewis is one of the real tough guys on the deep ball, and Tyree Holder had an excellent play on the ball.
It's a 3rd and short. That one broken up. Zach Ryan got his hands on it from his Mike linebacker spot, and so Bowling Green has to give up the football in a good defensive stand for this Ball State defense, which has been under fire really because of the turnovers tonight.
Yeah, they've been put in tough position, no question. Short field for Bowling Green, but that's just a textbook play by an inside linebacker, getting a beat on Matt Johnson's eyes and breaking on the football, and a pass broken up for Zach Ryan.
Corey Lacanaria with the long blonde hair back at the 25-yard line. Set to return the punt from Joseph Davidson. Rugby-style kick. And Lacanaria, like a shortstop, catches, covers up. They'll spot him at the 31, and that's where Ball State will start this drive from.
Yeah, so many times a punt returner will let that go, and you'll get another 15 to 20 yards bounce. But Lacanaria is not afraid to stick his nose and get that football and bring it down right there, and that'll save you some field position.
And Pete Lembo has emphasized many a time of recruiting character as opposed to characters. You mentioned that they may have to get better players in here. So as a head coach, what's the dilemma at this point?
Well, for one thing, although state of Indiana has gotten better with Division I prospects, you're not able to really get your home state, and you're battling Purdue and Indiana and Notre Dame for those guys. So you've really got to do your homework and find guys that are maybe a little under the radar. They've always been a developmental program here at Ball State where they'll bring in a guy, and by their 4th and 5th year, they're really productive. And I think you see along the offensive line, they've got a lot of 5th-year seniors up front and a lot of guys on that defense that have seen a lot of playing time. So that's their story here, and it's been a successful menu and modus operandi for this program.
That pass to Maybon, good for 14, and then Teddy Williamson carries for 4 as the football is up near midfield. After 3 really exciting years for Lembo, to see Ball State out of the bowl picture back-to-back years is a surprise.
Yeah, and getting it handed to them here at home on senior night is just very unlike this program, and so I think there's going to be a whole lot of self-analysis with the program and what they're doing and how they're approaching things, and what they can do to upgrade and attract young student athletes to Muncie.
They have some 60-odd recruits on hand tonight, as most of those kids' high school football seasons are over. Of course, the state championships in the state of Indiana continue at Lucas Oil this weekend.
Well, Pete Lembo is a very impressive guy. You and I have gotten to know him over the season, and you'd love for your son to play for this guy because he's just so even-keeled, and he has respect of the staff and the players. They love him, and they're just going through some tough times here, but they've got some good young talent, and Riley Neal is one of them. He's had a tough night tonight, but there's a good core of talented players on this team, so I'm not going to say that they're not going to make a run at it next year.
9 in the box as Williamson carries for a couple of yards on first down. Yeah, it was interesting. Yesterday, Lembo at practice was shooting the praises of Michael Ayers, who's one of the 2 graduating seniors on the defensive side of the ball. He said, his concentration's on his last football game of the year, but here he was all dressed up yesterday for an interview out in the lobby, and hoping to move on to a career in his particular chosen field. And he said, to me, that's what it's about. If it gets to be just down to players and hiring coaches, he says, I'll go do something else.
Well, and let's face it, 95% of his roster is not going to get a sniff at the NFL. So, you've got to be able to use this as an opportunity to build a career for yourself.
The ruling on the field is a fumble
athletics.
recovered by the offense. Second down.
Sorry to interrupt your
No,
chain of thought.
but you're building work ethic and character. These things you can use in a career post-football.
Neal gets rid of it, finds Kevon Maybon for the first down. So Maybon on a reception, good for 12 yards, and this may be the deepest penetration of the night for the Cardinals.
Good job by Maybon finding that soft spot in the zone, and there haven't been many soft spots tonight, but that time he was able to settle down in there, and Riley Neal threw a strike for a first down. So good play there, good execution. Joey Lynch, offensive coordinator's just had a tough time of dialing up successful plays. It's just been a real struggle. And
Lembo says the Cardinals will also take a look at their redshirting and maybe change a little bit of the decision-making when it comes to that. But as you mentioned, it stops and starts as a penalty flag is thrown with the head coach. And Lembo says, I take full responsibility for what's happened here. And in the meantime, too, President Ferguson, Athletic Director Sandy, and Lembo will get together and try to continue to unite the school and the community and the football program and make this a winner.
Personal foul. Face mask, number 50 of the defense. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the run, automatic first down.
It's on the junior nose guard, Isaiah Lunsford, so that'll be a first down and a spot at the 10-yard line. So first and goal, and Ball State's first trip into the red zone.
Yeah, the first real defensive mistake as far as a personal foul from this Bowling Green team, and we documented how penalized they've been all year long, but they've been pretty clean tonight, and this one does give Ball State an excellent opportunity at the 10-yard line.
Let's see if the Cardinals mark and get their first score. A little mix-up in the backfield. That's going to go for a loss of 3.
Well, a little bit of an empty feeling there when Riley Neal turns around and his back is on the other side, so he had to kind of scramble to get the football to Teddy Williamson, and that could have been disastrous, but you get a loss of a couple yards there on your first play, so that little bit of a setback here to start.
That ever happened to you at Purdue?
A few times, yeah. And that is not a good feeling. And the first thing in your mind is, did I turn the wrong way? And you can't compound the mistake by making 2 mistakes. So
Ball State now faced with a third down after the reception from Jordan Williams.
Jordan Williams, last game for Ball State. He's a guy who I think has aspirations to play at that next level, and I think he could be a receiver that can make a difference in the league. He's just got to maintain that consistency and be a guy that you can count on from play to play.
Eliah Ballou comes in at the linebacker spot to defend on third down, but a strike to the end zone, and Chris Schillings catch and score. First points of the night for the Cardinals.
Well, good for Ball State, and that's a well-diagnosed play, designed, and good throw and catch. Riley Neal to Chris Schillings for the first score for Ball State. Good protection there, nice clean pocket, and a very sharp route by Schillings, well-timed throw, and finally on the board.
Miles will hold, and Morgan Hagee will kick. So for Riley Neal, the freshman quarterback, the true freshman, now 16 touchdown throws on the air, connects with Chris Schillings for his first touchdown catch of the season. Finally good, something good for Riley Neal to look forward to in the game. His offense finally got clicking. He kept it without turnovers, and he has thrown his first touchdown strike of the game for the first points of the game for Ball State.
Well, it's continuing a learning experience for Riley Neal, and he'll learn from this game. He made some questionable decisions and a little bit of an inaccurate throw at times, but the next time that thought process will change, and he'll be able to kind of decipher the defense and make the correct play. But that drive kind of showed you what he's capable of doing, and Ball State finally able to break the scoreless tie, the goose egg on the scoreboard.
Hagee with the kick to the 15. Bowling Green will start this sequence from its own 27-yard line. Now returned by Scott Miller. So the Cardinals get their defense set after making a fine stand moments ago. And Matt Johnson, the senior quarterback, back to work. Johnson, by the way, threw for almost 500 yards against Maryland and 6 touchdowns. And he has been invited to the NFLPA bowl game, which will allow people to get a beat on him from a scouting standpoint. Throwing to the outside to Roger Lewis. Lewis tackled out of bounds. They'll spot him at the 35, just short of the first down by a couple of yards.
Well, you can see when this offense really gets clicking, they can put up yards and points in a hurry. And with Matt Johnson at the helm and his very talented array of wide receivers, they can put a hurt on you, and Ball State has felt the brunt of that tonight.
Green gets just enough for the first down, so this drive will continue from the 37-yard line.
Green had a little bit of a break last series with Fred Coppett taking over in a big way with the big run, and then ultimately the touchdown at the end.
Johnson in trouble and sacked back at the 27-yard line. Michael Ayers playing in his final game as a Ball State Cardinal. By the way, the first one in his family to go to college and get a degree.
Well, this is terrific. Michael Ayers has been a model player for this program, and that's a play he'll remember the rest of his career. And, maybe he tackled an NFL quarterback here, and I think that's wonderful. Michael Ayers has a I think, a very productive future ahead of him.
Loss of 9 on the play as they go to Travis Green underneath. And Green still going with the football, has got a first down. They needed to pick up 19, Mark, and they got 20.
Well, that's a demoralizing play, but that just shows you the resilience of this offense, that they can come back and hurt you after a negative play. And Travis Green shows you what he can do out in the open field, not just between the tackles.
To Garrick Dieter. And Dieter straight ahead to the 46.
Yeah, that's just like a running play. They're so good at it, and they get good lead blocks, and Garrick Dieter's not going to drop the football, so that's a 6-yard gain on first down.
Little double pass here, Dieter, and he one-hops that one. That's Ben Engel, intended for the receiver, Ronnie Moore. What do you think about Dieter's future as a quarterback?
Well, he saw what it's like to get rushed and trying to sort through that defense, and I think he kind of likes just catching it instead of throwing it.
Probably. 3rd and 4. 1:48 remains, third quarter. Bowling Green 34, Ball State 7. Cardinals season ends tonight. The Falcons move on to a week from Friday in the MAC championship. Johnson stepping up, and he is sacked. He never saw it coming either.
Good coverage down the field, and the protection just broke down. And boy, 2 sacks on this series. You don't see that very often against this Bowling Green offense, but just excellent job of not giving up for Ball State.
That allowed Anthony Winbush to put the pressure on and get credit for the sack. So now 4th down, football at the 47. The Falcons are letting the clock run down here. And let's see if they're going to use a timeout here or take a 5-yard penalty and then punt the ball away. They will not use a timeout.
Timeout,
Nope.
Bowling Green. That's their first timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Check that, they did get a timeout in, so there was no flag. And you would assume, even with a 4-touchdown lead, they'd kick it away.
Yeah, you would guess, but Dino Babers is a guy that rolls the dice sometimes, and that confidence in his offense. I'm thinking he doesn't enjoy watching his team punt the football away. So we'll see what he's talking about with his team and whether they decide to give this a go.
His coordinators are Mike Lynch. He's the man on the headset. On the offensive side of the ball, and Sean Lewis. Check that, that's Sean Lewis and Mike Lynch out of your picture, the other coordinator on the team. Well, Johnson's going back in.
Yes, he is. They never want to give in. They just want to keep attacking, and that's kind of the mantra of this team. They just keep after you, and they will never give in.
Johnson 26 yards away from the Roethlisberger record. Needs to get the football to the 42 of Ball State. And before this play happens,
Delay a game. Number 11, offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
now you would think a punt would be in order, and it will be.
Yes.
1-0-0. Thank you.
It means a minute remaining in the third quarter, according to our referee tonight, Ron Hudson. Dave Parker's the umpire, Rich Grubb the back judge, Kyle DeBuse the field judge, Lance Farrell is the head linesman, Matt Cooker the side judge, Michael Maisner the line judge, Gregory Nelson is the center judge. Joseph Davidson back at his own 35 to kick it away. Corey Lacanaria with the reception makes a man miss. Penalty flag on the play, returns past the 20-yard line. The flag is back at the 43.
Looks like a hold against Bowling Green, probably be declined or maybe tacked on to the end of the run.
Holding, number 57 of the kicking team. That penalty will be enforced 10 yards from the end of the run. First down, Ball State.
It's on Zach Bartman. The drive moments ago for Ball State, very successful, resulting in a touchdown. Ronnie Neal was picked 3 times in the first half. Von Kevon Maybon to get it started and continue the momentum on the play action fake to Williamson and the throw to Maybon again.
Yeah, very effective, and they really looked in control and mixed in the run with Teddy Williamson. Ultimately then getting the final touchdown to Chris Schilling for the score, but very well executed drive, and that makes Ball State feel a little bit better about tonight and see if they can come back with another opportunity here.
And then, Mark, the Cardinals will start this drive. Good field position from the 39. Darian Green went out with an injury. It appeared to be a rolled up ankle back in the early part of this second half. So James Gilbert, 34, and Teddy Williamson, number 6, have become the principal rushers for the Cardinals. Half a minute remaining, third quarter. Williamson carrying the football. He is close to the sticks, maybe about a yard shy. That Gilbert, excuse me. And it is enough, apparently, for a first down.
Yeah, it just, I'm very impressed with the way he pushes the pile. He's not a big road grader kind of running back, but he just seems to be able to find that little slither, and he's got enough of physicality to really get another extra yard or 2, which ultimately leads to a first down.
All right, Mark, 3 quarters are complete. 1 quarter left on Ball State's season on senior night. Bowling Green has ruined the party and the ceremonies, but right now the Cardinals are on the move on offense. Girls that just want to have fun. The fourth quarter set to commence here on ESPN3 Primetime. Jim Barber and Mark Herman. Ball State has the football a yard shy of midfield from the 49, first and 10. Been all Falcons tonight to no one's surprise. James Gilbert bounces off one, able to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, that time that front four did a little pinch stunt where they really tried to close off the interior running opportunity. Good call by the defense, and stopping a relatively hot back here in James Gilbert, who has been pretty darn productive tonight, but that was a good defensive call.
12 carries tonight for Gilbert, 61 yards, Mark. Just into the third quarter, it remains Ohio 20 and Northern Illinois 7. Toledo hoping for an Ohio win so it can wrap up the division and play Bowling Green in a rematch. The MAC Conference Championship will be for Friday night at Ford Field.
Third down and 7 here for Ball State, and they've executed pretty well here in the latter portion of the third quarter, now into the fourth. Let's see if we can get another conversion here and keep this drive alive.
Neal throwing, Lacanari with a catch, short of the first down mark. They will spot him around the 44-yard line. It'll be 4th and 3, and I imagine with Ball State in this position, it should be going for the first down.
Pressure that time on Neal. He had to get rid of that football, and Lacanari had to kind of cut his route short and tried to break a tackle, but once again, Bowling Green really rock solid in the secondary.
All right, Mark, they need to pick up 3 to continue the drive. Neal's got time. Plenty of time, cross the middle. Williams with a catch, got the first down. And Jordan Williams goes out of bounds at the 32. That's a pickup of 12 on 4th down. And now for the Cardinals on the season on 4th down, They're 12 for 22.
Boy, nice underneath route, and you saw a little bit of a burst there from Jordan Williams as he was able to turn the corner and get the necessary yardage. So that's just trust in your receiver that he's going to make a play, and he hit him right in stride, and you let Williams use his athletic ability to get the first.
It'll be 2nd and 10 now. Williams for the night, 6 catches for 34 yards. Actually make that 7 catches for 46 as we update his numbers.
(6'2", 223 pounds, or 6'3" actually. So he's a nice target. The NFL likes these big type of physical receivers.
Mark Neal will just keep the football there as he runs out of bounds at the 29. Just a couple of minutes into the fourth quarter. Bowling Green well ahead, 34-7. We'll update Ohio and NIU in a moment as the Huskies have gotten a bit closer. Trying to wrap up the West tonight. Make it to the title game of the MAC. Tonight, 2 games in MAC action. To Williamson, straight ahead, first down, Teddy Williamson, or very close. Depending on where the spot is. He's at the 23-yard line. Got pushed back, but it appears to be enough for a first down.
Yeah, nice piece of running, Teddy Williamson, and he has not had a lot of action this year, but he's filled in very admirably for the injured Darian Green. So that's great preparation by him. Whenever your number's called, be in there and be productive, and nice job of getting that first down.
Five seconds on the play clock. Williamson springs ahead to the 20 and a gain of 3 yards. And there's Trenton Green up there to make yet another stop. He's a first-year starter at that outside linebacker spot. And when you ask his coordinator, defensive coordinator Brian Ward, about him, in a word, he says dynamic.
Yeah, I would say that's very accurate. You know, he's an undersized guy, only 5'9", but he's a playmaker. 213 pounds, and he's been around the program, and he definitely knows how to make an impact at that position.
I have a question for you. You're down 4 touchdowns. You start the game by using the play clock and trying to use clock to shorten the game. Shouldn't you be speeding it up to this point? I know you're not expected to win, but you do want to get as many plays as possible.
Yeah, you do, but you want to make every play count, and I think it's now kind of a coaching, teaching type of opportunity here. We're not going to win this football game, but let's just try to optimize what we're doing out on the field.
Ball State now 31 carries on the ground for 102. Neal winds up and throws underneath the coverage. And it'll bring him to a 4th and 2. And with that, a whole new set of personnel, and it looks like Morgan Hagee will come on to try a field goal from 32 out.
Morgan Hagee has been pretty quiet tonight, just the 1 extra point, and he's had a pretty nice year for the Cardinals and has been asked to kick a lot of field goals, but tonight not so many opportunities.
He has hit 9 of his last 11, Mark. Is certainly within his range. And it's now 34-10 in favor of Bowling Green with 9:25 to go. Hagee on the season now 16 of 21. Who will Bowling Green play in the MAC championship game at Ford Field? Falcons lead here in the game between NIU and Ohio. It's tightened up. 27-yard scoring play from Graham to Galladay. It's now 20-14. A lot of time left in that game. Huskies win, they win the West. Huskies loss, and Toledo can win it against Western Michigan on Friday. If you're going back and forth on television between the ESPN networks, that game's on the U tonight.
Yes, and some anxious Rocket players, staff, and Rocket fans as this game all of a sudden is getting pretty tight.
Kyle Schmidt to kick off after the field goal from 32 yards out by Morgan Hagee. And the return from the 5. Penalty flag on the return to the 20. Typically that's on the return team. We'll see what it's about. That's our referee, Ron Hudson.
During the return, holding number 81 of the return team. 10 yards from the end of the run, first down.
It's on special teams, Trevor Roop. And that'll back up 10 more yards. Of course, they had a drive earlier in this game, which almost went the length of the field. So for Bowling Green, that's usually not a big deal as to where they start from. But the penalties are starting to add up a little bit more in this game. They played virtually a first-half penalty-free game, and now a few more here in the second half.
Yeah, they're trying to reach that average that they've kind of gotten. Not a great stat for them, and it's kind of been the one negative here in the second half, the penalty situation.
And there goes Fred Coppett on the first play from scrimmage from the 10 up to the 34. The book on Coppett, by the way, in case you're not aware, 5'8", 205, junior, Fort Lauderdale. Kid that has rushed for roughly 650 yards on the season. Talk so much about the passing game, but the running game, it ain't shabby either.
No, not in the least. And, you think to yourself, how does a guy from Fort Lauderdale, Florida end up in Bowling Green, Ohio? But there's different paths and routes to programs, and it just it's not an exact science in recruiting, and you just try to find guys all over the country that will fit what you're trying to do. And Coppett is a perfect example of a guy, kind of waits his turn, but when he's on the field, he produces.
And Travis Green, also from the state of Florida, just like Coppett. And that's Green carrying the football past the 40. Travis Green, the football savant. Kid with a great vision, all-time leading Bowling Green rusher. Makes a man miss. What a great move, too. It's still going with the football into Ball State territory at the 49. It was a good-looking run for Travis Green.
Yeah, he's a fun performer, and they talk about his vision, and running backs just seem to have that sense of where the defenders are coming, and then when you have that athletic ability to make people miss, that's a pretty good combination.
He is closing in.
False start. Number 8, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Green is closing in on 1,000 yards for the season. He needed 61 tonight. And he is just 14 shy.
Yeah, when you think of a pass-happy offense like Bowling Green possesses, you wouldn't think there'd be an 1,000-yard rusher, but Travis Green shows you that he can be that guy that can make some serious yardage, and he's off to the races again.
He made a nice move on the outside, and he had plenty of blockers in front of him, too. So now he's at 997 for the season.
Well, a couple of possible milestones for quarterback and back here as this game continues on.
Green rushed for 10 yards total in 2012 as a freshman. As a sophomore, 1594, last year 949, and now on the cusp of 1,000. Garrett Dieter has had a big night tonight as a receiver, 10 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. Here's Green. And for Travis Green, now he has passed the 1,000-yard rushing mark. Congratulations to him. Second time he has done that in 4 years at Bowling Green.
Well, that's a tribute to him. It's a tribute to that offensive line, and certainly the guys that are calling plays set him up for his opportunities. But boy, he's got a lot of talent and a lot of desire.
He is approaching, Mark, for his career 3,600 yards.
Boy, and you don't realize the punishment that these guys take, and to have that consistency every year is a tribute to him.
Straight ahead, Green into the secondary, still going with the football. Carries down to the 8. A pickup of 24 on the first down, and this kid just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, and like every good back, he's at his best in the fourth quarter when the defense is starting to retire, and he's still got a lot of quickness in his step.
He makes a couple people miss there, and he's going to score. What a good-looking run from 8 yards out for Travis Green, and a touchdown.
That is a highlight reel type of run there. Bouncing and spinning and making people miss. Look at that, just great athletic ability.
His second touchdown of the night, his 35th of his outstanding career. Still has more football left, the MAC championship and a bowl game after that. Mark, we spent most of the telecast talking about quarterback Matt Johnson, but how about a little love for this guy, Travis Green?
Yeah, how about this move? Spin, make a guy miss, onto the end zone for a score.
The Falcons, the 4th highest scoring offense in college football this season. Just shy of their average of 43.8 a game, leading 41-10. Travis Green scoring his second touchdown of the night from 8 yards out. We'll show it to you in a moment. Swatney Brown and Kevon Maybon are deep. Nick Fields kicking off for the Falcons. This return just short of the 20 by Brown. Trying to get to the outside, got up to the 30-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown. How about a SportsCenter top 10 nomination for this play?
Yes, Travis Green at his best, juking and spinning and just putting himself out there as just a very talented back. This guy just has all the moves that it takes to be an outstanding running back, and that was his drive pretty much, 72 yards rushing for Travis Green on that particular drive.
And now for the game, 17 carries for 97 and 2 touchdowns for Green. His partner in the backfield, Coppett, 12 carries, 109 and a score. Do the math, it's 29 rushes, 206, 3 touchdowns.
Timeout Bowling Green right here.
Bowling Green. That's their second timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
We'll talk about the future of Dino Babers, the head coach of the Falcons, when we come back. Back to Schumann Stadium, the home of the Ball State Cardinals, who have the football here with 6:11 remaining in their season. And let's talk the future of Dino Babers. So, Mark, you're on the spot here. Does he do an Urban Meyer, and with 2 years here after some experience and success at Eastern Illinois and long-time success as an assistant coach for almost 3 decades, is he leaving Bowling Green in your opinion?
Well, I think there's a pretty good chance. I mean, you look at the job that he's done at Eastern Illinois, had a couple of playoff bursts, and then he comes to Bowling Green, couple championships. So his track record's pretty darn good as a head coach. He's got a fun offense. He's a likable guy. He's got a great personality, great pedigree. I mean, he's been at some top-notch programs. Why wouldn't you take a look at Dino Babers if you're, an upper echelon program? So
let's suppose you're Maryland, obviously in need of a head coach. He comes in and his team torches Maryland. Yeah. Johnson throws for 491 and 6 touchdowns. Do you think he'll get a strong look there, just to name one school?
Boy, I think that's an excellent choice. And yeah, they got to see him firsthand. So they're a fun team to watch. They're up and down the field. They spread the field. and they play good defense. So, boy, that's a pretty great recipe for success. And you know, he's a guy that's you know, he says he's steadfast with this program, but you know, when the big boys come calling, it's hard to say no.
Absolutely.
Neal passes complete to Chris Schilling.
Neal finds Chris Schilling, who has the touchdown reception in the game for the Cardinals, the only touchdown of the night.
Gain of 3 yards. 4th down and 5.
Of course, you put Coach Babers on the spot in our conference call, and I appreciate you taking the lead on that.
Yeah.
He told us absolutely nothing.
That's right, yeah.
Which is what you expected to say.
Oh, yeah. He wanted to diffuse that pretty quickly because they've got some unfinished business, but you know, you got to figure somebody's talking to somebody at the end of this year.
Burbrink with a fair catch at his own 23-yard line. With 4:35 left, time now for the Capital One impact performance. That belongs to the quarterback, Matt Johnson.
Well, he's the commander of this offense, and he does it so well and distributes the football. He does a great job with ball handling, and just kind of a whole hump night for Matt Johnson, over 70%. You know, not the great yardage, but he just continues to play at a high level and makes it look awfully easy.
Ben Roethlisberger, I'm sure is watching today. Can breathe easy.
Oh, I'm sure he's doing
because his single-season record is going to be intact for at least another game. As James Kanapke, who was the starting quarterback last year and threw for 3,173 yards and 15 scores, and will be the starting quarterback next year as Johnson graduates, is now in the game.
Heir apparent, and looks like the franchise is safe. From right up the road in Fort Wayne, Indiana, James Napke, and I think he feels like he learned a lot from Matt Johnson, and he's able to put it to use here.
So the Falcons right now and their backups getting a chance to play. That's Matt Domer carrying the football. Cardinals will head back to Bowling Green, Ohio, and get set for the MAC title game. Question is, who are they going to play? It's still very much up in the air. As Northern Illinois trying to come back and seal the West tonight with a win, but if it doesn't happen, then Toledo's got a chance to win the conference, division of the conference in the West, and set up a rematch with Bowling Green in roughly 10 days.
Well, the MAC is, you know, getting many more bowl opportunities, and they're really upping their profile. And you know, you look at a Toledo team that went into Arkansas and won, and we've talked about Bowling Green going into Maryland and winning handily, and so there's nice wins, not just at home, but they're going on the road and beating these, you know, upper echelon type teams, and so this is. If you're the commissioner of this conference, you've really got to like what you see week in and week out.
And we saw John Steinbrecher back when the season started. I think he was here on opening night for VMI in Ball State. And the one thing he told us about Mid-American Conference teams playing Power 5 teams is it's a great looking schedule. We got to win some. And it happened in the case of Bowling Green because they won at both Maryland and at Purdue.
Right.
And Toledo won at Arkansas. Let's talk Pete Lumbo for a moment. 3 years here at Ball State, all 3 bowl years, with quarterback Keith Wenning as the general. Of course, started at Lehigh, successful there. Same at Elon. This is his first slump, if you want to call it that, in his career, with back-to-back losing seasons. What about the future, Pete, here at Ball State?
Well, I think they're going to give Pete the benefit of the doubt. You don't want to see a trend that you're not a winning program, but I think this is certainly, hopefully, just a blip on the radar for this program, because Pete has shown that he can coach at a high level, and these last 2 years have slipped away from him a little bit. So, you know, it's time to maybe kind of take a look at the way they do things and how they evaluate personnel, and, you know, whether they redshirt. I know they're a big redshirt program because they feel like in the long run, that's what's best for what you're doing. But, you know, you may want to take a look at like James Gilbert, who comes in as a freshman, equipped to play and play at a high level.
Good point.
And Pete's such a steadying guy that he doesn't get ruffled or upset, but I'm sure down deep it's killing him to see a lopsided game here and for his seniors and what they're trying to present as a program. So, it's they're all going to, as you mentioned, Jim, they're all going to get together and kind of see what's best for this program moving forward.
The Ball State, Mark, will be adding some very good-looking coaches' offices. It's still being constructed here as we speak. But they do not have an indoor practice facility. It is not in the foreseeable future, at least not the next few years. So does that hamper their chances of recruiting and attracting others to this program?
Well, it's an issue, and 18-year-olds, they like that wow factor, and they like that you can go inside in inclement weather, and yet they like the nice locker room and the weight rooms and the facilities, and that's a determining factor. So you got to keep up with whom you're battling with, and that's a lot of the MAC schools and some guys, fringe recruits that maybe slip away from Big Ten teams. So, you got to find that edge somehow, and that's what Pete Lembo is going to look at in the offseason.
For some time for the kids, too, it comes down to helmets. If you got some fancy helmets and you got a flashy look, so if you got to spend a few extra dollars for that, and typically it's more than a few extra dollars, those type of things matter too. I guess it depends on how totally committed you are to college football.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of different uniform combinations this year from Ball State, and it's something that catches the eye of a young player. So when you look good, you play well and feel good. So I think that's a factor.
Now next year, Ball State will have 3 non-conference road games, 1 home game. They'll restart a contract with the Indiana Hoosiers. And Lembo was saying at practice yesterday that schedule is more manageable than the one this year, in which they had to go to Texas A&M. They did not expect to win. Got a great payday out of it, $1.2 million. Had a winnable game at Northwestern, but another Power 5 team on the schedule. Next year, Indiana represents the Power 5 conferences, but again, a more manageable schedule. They'll open at Georgia State at the Georgia Dome in early September, and we'll play 3 road games, 1 home game, and chance maybe to get off to a better start.
Yeah, you've got to balance those kind of money games with what's best for your program and in the long run. And if you're getting your helmet handed to you, is that best for you? So, we'll see how they come up with that balance here in the future.
And we have less than a minute left in our football game. A couple of punts have landed inside the 5-yard line for the Cardinals. Back to Northern Illinois and Ohio. 1:56 left in the third. The Bobcats remain your leader. NIU wins, and they win the West. But right now, Ohio's on the move again. You can imagine how Toledo and Matt Campbell and his Rockets are watching this game tonight on the U with a lot of interest.
Yeah, they've just done a marvelous job at Toledo. Matt Campbell and his staff that's another up-and-coming great head coach.
Yeah, you wonder if he'll be at Toledo much longer.
Yeah, that's they've had some serious results here the last few years.
James Kanapke back in for a second series for Bowling Green. And this may go all the way. Domer carrying the football. It's a race to the end zone. Matt Domer, touchdown, 95 yards.
95 yards.
It's just never over with this offense.
No, it isn't.
I mean, they will score anywhere, anytime. Just a little crease and Domer right up the gut into the secondary and goes the length of the field for the 47th point for the Bowling Green Falcons.
The Falcons are now well over 300 yards on the ground, so I think we misled people at the beginning by talking about the passing.
Yeah, boy, we were barking up the wrong tree.
48 points now, Bowling Green over its per game scoring average, and Mr. Domer's the big man on campus right now. Good for him. Of course, you got to share that with the other running backs.
Oh, yeah, that's right? A gaudy average per carry.
Mm-hmm. So 3 running backs now in the game for Bowling Green, 95 yards or better.
Running into the kicker, number 28, receive team. Penalties decline, try is good.
As a team now, 32 rushes for 311 and 4 touchdowns on the ground. Momat's a freshman, true freshman from Hazel Crest, Illinois. Prior to the night, 5 carries, 12 yards.
Yeah, it's just downhill from now. I mean, you got a 95-yarder in your belt. It can't get any better than that. So.
No, it's certainly a fun team to watch because they can score, as you mentioned, in a variety of ways. And give some credit and some love to their defense tonight, which pitched a shutout for most of the game. Allowed just 1 touchdown and came off a rough night against Toledo a week ago and really played much more effective this evening.
Yeah, they were brilliant all night long. Very few open receivers for Ball State, and the run game struggled to really get a grip, and so they took away everything that Ball State wanted to do and got the football back for their offense, which is always key for your defense, and 3 interceptions in the first half. So certainly did their job and then some.
And for Ball State, disappointing senior night, disappointing end to the 2015 season. They say goodbye to 21 seniors tonight. And then it's on to 2016 and opening night at the Georgia Dome against Georgia State. Kevon Maybon is in trouble on this return. About the only time tonight that he has not done anything on kickoffs.
Yeah, you're right. The sooner this game can get over and you get the bad taste out of your mouth of this season and kind of focus on next year. Salute your seniors as they kind of take off their uniform for the last time as we get a look at one of the stars of the game, and Matt Johnson, who has just had a brilliant year and still has a little bit of work to go in the MAC championship.
You're not talking about his hair, because didn't one of the coaches tell us about that he grows hair very slowly?
That's right. Yeah.
Obviously not with the beard.
No, the beard has come in pretty darn well, but yeah, a little follically challenged on top.
Yeah, I think that was Dino Baber's comment, if we want to place the blame on somebody. One of his coordinators has got the equally long beard as well, so it looks like the San Francisco Giants of MLB a few years ago.
Fear the beard.
So Ball State will lose to Bowling Green. The Falcons now go 9-3 on the season, finish conference play at 7-1. And we'll await word as to which team it will oppose in the Motor City. Final play of the football game and final play of the season for the Cardinals.
The ball game is over. Final score, Bowling Green 48, Ball State 10.
Head Coach Babers and Head Coach Lembo, friends, and sharing some exchange of words here at midfield. Mark, some thoughts as we put a cap on this one?
Well, very successful game for Bowling Green, no question. They dominated in every phase. They were brilliant and effective and efficient, and they did everything that a championship team does, and they came on the road and took care of business of a very fine Ball State team. And Ball State never did find any answers today against Dino Babers and his staff, and tough ending for Pete Lembo and his seniors. They'll live to fight another day, but just a rough evening against a hot Falcon team.
By the way, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. I will see you in Chattanooga
Looking
for the
forward
FCS
to it.
playoffs
That'll
this weekend.
be a lot of fun and a lot of excitement in Chattanooga, and we'll have fun doing that one.
For Mark Herman, I'm Jim Barber. We thank you for joining us. Again, our final score tonight: Bowling Green 48 and Ball State 10. So long from Schumann Stadium in Muncie, Indiana on ESPN3 Prime Time.